ready.
Walking stick.
I don't know, he's pointing at you.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to July 31st. Mic on. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to our July 31st Planning Commission. And I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask Mr. Slade, who would, in a word of prayer.
Lord God, thank you for this opportunity again as we gather together as a community, Father. I thank
Yes,
you
Lord.
that you give us the privilege to come together and to serve our fellow man. Father, you give us the skills and the abilities to do that work effectively. And Father, all good and perfect things come from you. We think about how blessed we are in our community, the resources that you provide to us, the men and women that you have given skills and abilities to who can serve us effectively. That all comes from you, and we thank you. We return our thanks to you this morning and give you praise and honor because you deserve it. And so we invoke your presence here with us. Give us the power and the peace and the contentment, Lord, to do what is right and to do what is keeping in your will so that it might benefit every citizen of our community. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. All right, consideration and approval of the July 3rd minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Steve made a motion, Brad seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Old business.
Are we going into the planning commission meeting?
That's what you're in.
Yeah.
All right.
Was there any old business?
sir.
All right.
No old business? All right. New considerations.
Yes, sir. Let's see here. First up, we have Katie Barber. It's a conditional use permit at 1215 Patriotic Circle. And they are, let's see, they're seeking a conditional use permit to construct an accessory dwelling unit to serve as a pool house. Ms. Barber owns lots 90 and 91 within the subdivision. She has obtained written approval for the proposed structure from the subdivision developer. The property is zoned RE1, which allows an accessory dwelling unit as a conditional use. And this is a picture of the property.
Where's that at?
And these are surrounding properties.
And they got to come to us to put a pool in?
Pool.
So
All right.
you got Steve good?
Okay.
Yep.
All right, the next item is Southern Environmental Group. They're seeking a conditional use permit to expand their existing Class 1 rubbish disposal facility located at 495 Mount Helm Road. The proposed expansion will consist of a 96-acre addition. Both parcels include areas designated as flood hazard zones. These areas will not be used for waste disposal activities within 100 feet of the floodway. And this is an aerial view of the property. This is a layout of the existing site with ingress, egress, and with the new proposed areas. Blue is access road. I know it's kind of hard to see, but
I know
yeah.
where it's at and the boundaries. I've
This is just expanding the
looked at it.
rubbish pit.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Right. Let's see, pictures of the property and surrounding properties. Okay.
How close will they be getting to that house?
I can't get more than it's 100 foot.
Yeah,
And
it's-
it's wetland between that house. It's a lake.
Okay.
And then it can't get closer than 100
Be a pretty
foot
big
wetland.
buffer between.
Yeah, pretty good size.
It's a big buffer.
Okay.
Next, we have Neal Property LLC. They're seeking a conditional use permit to operate a retail store on Highway 25. This is a 109-acre parcel that is zoned A2. This is an aerial view of the property. The proposed facility will specialize in the sale of feed and farm supplies and will include both a storefront and an adjacent warehouse. The structure will feature an off-white brick exterior.
Where's that, Steve?
Cold Bluff.
Oh, Cold Bluff way up there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's, we're not to the stage yet, but on these agriculture co-op type things, it's almost imperative that they have some outside stuff. When I say items, if you go to the co-op down here,
Yeah. Equipment
they,
and stuff.
it's just equipment and things. I would want a security fence at the property line, and anything that they have outside would be between that fence and, well, in their boundaries, just like the co-op.
Okay.
But we'll work on that. I mean, we'll have time to work through that kind of stuff.
And right now, he's proposing everything to be inside.
Well, that happens, but I know how it ends up
Yes.
going.
That's right.
So I'd rather get it on the front end.
That's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Some stuff you just can't put inside.
All right, the business will offer a wide range of products, including retail feed, farm supplies, farm equipment, and grading equipment that will be displayed inside the structure with a roll-up door.
Okay, but you can
That
kind of
sounds
draw a
good.
line. I mean, what happens is they grow
And
and
they don't have room.
they don't have enough space to
That's
put on
right.
all their displays.
Yes, sir.
And, then we're back in here, so.
Brian, this is Highway.
It's Highway 25.
Frontage.
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah.
Is there some, are we indicating here that we intend to rezone to C3?
Well, I think he was wanting, conditional use, just to, the use,
I got you.
stay A2,
Okay.
and just,
I'm trying to address the whole outside storage thing.
yeah, I don't,
Just
Well-
one swoop here, but I think leaving it A2 and doing a conditional use will work just fine, Steve. But at some point, we're gonna be looking at rezoning that corner. I
Yeah.
mean, that's one of the, that's a super highway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just
25.
that it's about 10 miles out
Yeah.
from
Way out there.
real civil, I mean, you know, our holly bushes and our,
Yeah, that's
If
right.
it wasn't immediately adjacent to 25, there'd be no reason
Yeah.
to have this conversation, but because it is.
I don't wanna open that door with C3,
Understood.
until we have something that we need to.
We can handle it as we are currently structuring it. I think it'll work
Yeah.
just fine.
All right.
our next item up is Clifton Brown. He's requesting to rezone 6 acres of a 139.92 acre parcel from A1 to RE1A. 3 of the lots will have full frontage of Shell Oil Road, while the 4th lot fronting Star Road will serve as Mr. Brown's primary residence. The intent of the rezoning is to allow Mr. Brown to sell the 3 Shell Oil Road lots to generate enough funds to purchase a new manufactured home for placement on the Star Road lot. And this is an aerial view,
No.
and this is a view of the property and surrounding properties.
Brian, each of the lots are gonna have adequate frontage.
All lots have adequate frontage, yes.
And what size are the lots? 2 acres?
2 acre lots. He's gonna do 3 2-acre lots. They all have adequate frontage on Shell Oil. Don't see a problem with it.
Okay. All right.
All right, the next up, we have Brandon McKay. He is requesting rezone 26 acres located at the corner of Highway 81, I'm sorry, Highway 481 and Harold Road from A2 to RE1. The applicant is proposing an 8-lot residential development, with each lot having a minimum size of 3 acres. Lots 1 through 4 will front Highway 481, while lots 5 through 8 will front Harold Road. Zoning map showing adjacent properties. This is near the Harold Acres subdivision.
We are-
Right behind it.
We're looking at this and handling it in a preliminary state. It's not 5 acres, you know, and that's what the overlay says. But the overlay is within a couple of weeks. I think it'll catch up, and, they have complied, with what I foresee it being after the 15th, so.
Okay.
So is that right up from Bellbro's Corner on the right there?
Yes, sir.
That's, Virginia Woods' place?
Leesburg Water Association?
Yeah, it's right
there
down
on
the corner, yeah, that's
Right
what I
there.
thought, yeah, okay. Freedom McLeod, yep.
And this is a picture of the property.
They're gonna deed restrict it, 2,500 square foot homes,
Yep.
3 acres, no further division.
Yep, got it, got it.
It'll actually be a plat.
Yeah.
These are surrounding properties.
And we got to get a letter from the Water Association, because they're getting close to being at capacity.
Yes, sir. And we have another one from Brandon McKay. He's requesting to rezone approximately 20.26 acres from A2 to RE1 on Lewis Prestige Road. The applicant is proposing a 6-lot residential development, with each lot having a minimum size of 3 acres. All proposed lots will have frontage on the public road.
Same way with this one. They all meet our minimums with the
Yes.
2,500 square foot. And same thing as the other one.
Here's a picture of the property and surrounding properties.
Next door, my brother had.
I think them will be some nice houses.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Will be.
be some nice houses.
This time
Okay.
we need to set public hearings.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
I make a motion to set 1 and 2 for August the 4th, which would be the R&J Construction and Katie Barber conditional.
Second.
Brad made a motion, set 1 and 2. Jay seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Now I make a motion to set 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 for August the 15th.
Second.
Brad made a motion to set 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Steve seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Gentlemen, we've got 6 matters under our nuisance property considerations. The first will be the Dolores Huff Estate nuisance property, 521 Mallard Point. This is a District 3 property. I will open that public hearing. I'll ask Brian to demonstrate with the photos. I will also call for anyone who is associated with the Dolores Huff Estate to be prepared to come forward to address the board at this time.
We received a complaint in June of tall grass, weeds, and a vacant structure and land. Certified letter was unclaimed and no contact has been made. These are the updated pictures as of yesterday.
Is anyone here from the state?
Dolores Huff Estate. Gentlemen, with no claiming of the certified letter, this being an estate owned property, the options here are very, very limited. We could go ahead and do the declaration of a nuisance and send it up to Justice Court, but the Justice Court is gonna have the same issue. Who's supposed to be before me to address the state and condition of the property? Who is the owner of the property?
Can we do a little research on who's paying the tax?
Well, we can do that, Brad. The payment of the ad valorem tax does not indicate or confirm title. The short answer is, the only way to get adequate establishment of title property where you have a deceased prior owner is through a chancery court proceeding that establishes who the heirs of the decedent are. That's how you do it. And once that's established by a chancery court order, then You have the ability to notify those who have been declared to be the owners of the property, the vested title of the property, vests in the heirs at death. It takes a court order to actually make that official. Once you've got that, then you've got the ability to place on notice those who have been declared to be the title owners.
The
So,
other option would be if the county has to go out
Yes, sir.
and clean this up, we could put a lien against the,
yes, sir. Once the board is satisfied that the state and condition of the property is such that it's impacting the public health, welfare, and safety of the citizens of Rankin County, you have the legal authority to self-help. The county can actually take action to clean up the property. Your remedy there is to impress a lien on the property for whatever your costs of remediation are. That can then be collected as if it were an additional ad valorem tax.
Is this in Robin Hood?
no, this is off of Shillow Road, May Estates.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what's your recommendation? I mean, if we declared a nuisance, I mean,
It's
we're not gonna get anywhere.
It's not going
It's
anywhere.
not gonna do anything.
I mean, can our chancellor,
What we need to do is to determine what is the likely value of this property in relation to what is owed on this property. That's a relatively simple
So we
title
know
search
there's already
process.
some liens.
We need to determine, Steve, what is the lien situation as it relates to this property? What's owed?
who needs to handle that?
Your board attorney can
Okay.
make that happen.
What's the acreage? And how much frontage does it
I
have?
mean, it is on road frontage, a public road, right in front of it.
Yeah.
I looked at it yesterday.
1 acre.
1 acre, okay. Yep.
It'd be hard to get sewer.
So, I mean, what's the treatment
Yeah.
system situation there? Clearly, if it's
It's
one
not
acre
public
parcel,
sewer in that
it's
subdivision,
not. So we know
neighborhood.
there's a treatment plant there, and, you know, it just really gets dicey to try to guess.
Do we know if anybody is going and coming from this location? Is it locked up, boarded up?
No, I don't believe it's boarded up. But from talking to the neighbors, no one has been there used.
Okay.
I mean, like the fire department needs to have practice.
Well,
All right, well, you do what you need to do.
We
on
can do
trying
the
to-
title search work and bring that information back for y'all to evaluate.
So
what
we can
your-
just table this or take no action?
There's really no reason to take action,
Right.
Brad. I think it's a waste of time for us to send it up to justice court. All you're doing is creating headaches up the hill
Okay.
that won't lead to a meaningful solution here.
All right. And we can tell the neighbors that's doing the complaining that we're trying to figure out who the contact needs to be.
What our options are.
Thank y'all.
So for the record, the minutes of this proceeding will reflect that no action has been taken. I will close that public hearing. And I will also note that the board wants a title report on this property. So
Thank you.
I might need some help remembering that
I will.
I've undertaken that responsibility voluntarily, or not so voluntarily. Item 2 is Elizabeth Dallas nuisance property. This is at 402 Mallard Point, again, a District 3 property. I will open that public hearing.
This is on the same street.
Brian will demonstrate with the photos, and I'll ask for Ms. Dallas or anyone representing Ms. Dallas to be prepared to come forward and to address the board.
We received a complaint in May for rubbish and garbage. Colby has made contact with the property owner, and they are in the process of removing items from the property. This is the photo that was taken yesterday.
somebody's done some work.
What's going on this? The owner of the property lives in Florida.
Yes, sir.
The brother owns the mobile home and it hadn't been removed yet. So that's what the owner of the property is waiting on the brother to get the mobile home off the site. But she is making contact with somebody to come in and either burn the debris there or get it moved or hauled off. They did get the grass cut, so.
Yeah.
Is Ms. Dallas present, or is anyone on her behalf here?
I just wanted to clarify that for the record. Brad, what you thinking here? Delay it?
We can go ahead and declare it a nuisance and then give it, say, 60 days do a 60-day deal. And that way, maybe the brother can get the mobile home removed and the debris can get handled. So just let her know, we're gonna declare it a nuisance and give it 60 days.
Is that your motion, Brad?
That's my motion.
All right.
Second.
Brad made a motion to declare it a nuisance for 60 days. Steve seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
All right, that public hearing is closed. Item 3, gentlemen, is the George Taylor nuisance property at 113 Burnett Drive. This is a District 2 property. I'll open that public hearing. Brian will demonstrate with the photos. I will ask Mr. Taylor or anyone here representing Mr. Taylor to be prepared to come forward to address the board.
We received a complaint in March for rubbish and disposal of garbage. These are the photos from March. These are the pictures from yesterday. Contact has been made with the property owner. Progress has been made, and they are continuing to clean up the property. This is all we have on that.
Okay.
Looks like they're making progress.
Yeah, I went by there last week and it didn't look too bad, so.
Let's
Is
just
Mr.
check
Taylor
on it
present?
for 60 days.
You want on behalf of Mr. Taylor?
Table.
Yeah, whatever,
Declare it a nuisance.
yeah, whatever the normal process of doing things is
Okay.
fine. I do know that it looks like they're making some progress. I went by there and looked the other day. And it's,
Many times where we see identifiable progress being made on cleanup,
Yeah,
we will not take action. We'll simply delay action. We'll keep the
Okay.
hearing in a state of basically just sitting here.
yeah,
But we'll go ahead and indicate that we want to report back in 30 days.
Yeah.
And if additional progress continues, there'll be no reason for us to go farther.
okay.
So
I'll
that,
check on it
would that
too,
be
so
your motion to
that'd be
simply
great,
table
yes.
this for a period of 30 days and allow community development to report back?
Yes,
All
that's,
right, very good.
I'll
That's-
make that motion, yeah.
Second.
Dr. McLeod made a motion to table it for 30 days. Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll close that public hearing. Brian, we'll make sure that this one gets put on the August
Yes.
work session agenda, the planning commission agenda, please. Item 4, gentlemen, is the Johnny Paul Porter nuisance property. This is at 1124 Leesburg Road. This is District 4 property. This time I'll open that public hearing. Brian will demonstrate with the photos. I'll ask Mr. Porter or anyone here representing Mr. Porter to be prepared to come forward to address the board, please.
We received a complaint regarding rubbish and inoperable vehicles. We have previously addressed this matter and reached a settlement in court in October 2024.
What was the settlement?
They had cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Was that a justice court matter? Okay. So when we say we, he's talking, Brian's indicating that the court, the justice court judge, and the parties that were involved, including our guys here, that there was a resolution of that court proceeding. This board didn't resolve
Yeah,
anything.
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
While monitoring the property, Mr. Porter was in contact with Colby but has since lost contact. And these are the new pictures.
Mr. Colby has been in here before us.
Mr. Taylor, I'm sorry, Mr. Porter?
Porter, I meant.
Yep.
Not Mr., well, Mr. Colby has too. It was, not a good meeting. And we sent it up justice court.
Yep.
I don't think we,
Is he here today?
you know it.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. So it's been cleaned up one time, Brian, is that what we're saying? And now
I
it's, now
think
it's
it's-
going back
I think
again?
it's been
It's,
a
this
couple
is
of
a
times.
repeat of offender.
Okay, got it.
This
Okay.
may be the third time. Come on up and state your name and address.
Johnny Porter at 1124 Leesburg Road.
Why do you keep letting it get like this, Johnny?
I do construction work. Some days I come in, I got a truckload of stuff, and I have to unload it so I can go back to work again the next day, and it may take me a little while to get it up, but I always get it up.
Well, you don't until we get to this point.
Well, true.
Alright, I'm gonna declare it a nuisance and give you 30 days before we send it up to the justice court.
Yes.
They gonna come back out there and check in 30 days. If it's not in good shape, then you're gonna be back in front of the judge,
Yes.
okay? I think that's more than fair.
Yes.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Ms. Gaines, I
I'll
assume
make
that would be your
I'll
motion?
make that motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Steve made a motion, Dr. McLeod seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
For the record, we close that public hearing. Item 5, gentlemen, is the Lauren Muse nuisance property. This is at 2260 Almar Road. This is a District 1 property. We'll open that public hearing. Brian will demonstrate with the photos. I'll ask Lauren Muse or anyone here representing Lauren Muse to be prepared to come forward to address the board.
We received a complaint in May for weeds and accumulation of rubbish. And these are the pictures that we received. These are the pictures taken yesterday. Contact has been made with the property owner. He has had a medical emergency and has been unable to keep up the property. He is in the process of cleaning.
Not they ground up the trees.
How many times have y'all been out there?
Been out there multiple times.
Yeah.
Lauren Muse, or anyone representing Mr. Muse, you'll step forward, please.
Welcome, board.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
If you'll give your name and address, please.
Lauren Muse, 2260 Almar Road. I'm not presently there. I had a medical issue. I'm living with my sister in Pearl, but that is my home.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
I've got some pictures after yesterday. I was out there after Mr. Colby left, or day before, but I did get out there on my knees, and you can see that retainer wall better now in some pictures I can show y'all.
What are your plans? What are your plans for the place?
I'm selling the house. I'm gonna have to sell it. I can't keep it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm doing a water feature, which you can't see it from behind it. But and then the rest of the straw's Bermuda, so it's gonna be Bermuda grass unless I spray it to keep it as a flower bed. Some of it's gonna be a flower bed. Some of the pictures I can show you on my phone that you can't see from here. I'm working in several places in Rankin County on water containment and water capture. And I've got some features here that I'll capture the water and filter it like with the recreational pools. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, where they're non-chlorine. And well, okay, in my pictures you can see it a lot more clearly. But I'm looking at selling it to a.
Well, it looks like you got a nice place right
Oh,
there.
it's
It'd be worth a good bit of money.
I'm trying to
if
get
you
it up.
just-
What I'm doing out front's gonna be like $100,000, $150,000 extra
Right.
with the work I've done. When you see what I've done, actually, you can't see it here. I wanted to address the board afterward to speak with y'all about some things. There's actually there's a beaver dam in there that's gonna have water tristling over it, around it, and over it. By that, on the point where there's a crepe myrtle with the retainer wall, that's lower now too, by the way. I've moved it around. It goes all the way to the swing set. Not yet, but it will go all the way to the
Are
swing
you
set.
gonna build a beaver dam, or are you gonna?
It's there already.
Okay.
The hay, there's hay on it that I didn't get to blow in yet, that I'm kind of filtering it down into it.
Well, I think what we'll do is, I'm gonna declare it a nuisance and give you 60 days.
Okay, now let me tell you, I've got a letter from the doctor. I'm going to wound care Thursday.
Yeah.
She put me on bed rest with my feet above my heart, 21 days. I came in, I did 14, it wasn't quite healed.
Right.
Because I got the letter, which I didn't sign for the certified letter, but they left it. They tore the little thing, card off like I did.
Right.
But I happened to see it, so I worked and I busted my toes open again, my big toes. I'm diabetic. I've lost a toe, both big toes, and Mr. Kobe knows this. I showed him the holes in them day before yesterday. But I do have a letter from her that I'm going Thursday, I'm thinking she's probably gonna put me on 20 or 30 days, feet above my heart.
Right, well, I've had complaints on this property for over a year.
I've been working on it by myself, without help for,
Right.
some
You know,
time.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, I'm gonna declare it a nuisance and give you 60 days, because like I say, for over a year now, I've been, neighbors and stuff has
No,
been,
neighbor almost, just one lady, but yeah,
Well,
I know, I'm surprised
and,
she's not even here.
and some of the sewer was going into the following neighbor's yard at one time.
Right.
You had your sewer running in a ditch.
I didn't have it, it flooded over, but yeah, then we put in a treatment plant.
Right, so this is not the first issue or phone call that I've had, but, yeah, I'm gonna declare it a nuisance and like I say, give you 60 days to, to clean up and make some progress. If
Oh,
there's
could
progress.
definitely be progress.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah. There's progress now from these pictures, just
Right.
from me being out there,
And-
but I wasn't on my feet, I was on my knees.
Right.
So I was able to, move the hay back to where it's supposed to be.
right,
And it's actually gonna be, like, some of it's gonna be Bermuda grass, but some of it's gonna be, the water feature.
Well, sir, I know trying to get help these days is almost
I
impossible.
can't even get my own boys to help me.
I know.
I mean, I've done this by myself with a shovel.
I totally understand.
That tractor, I can't find the oil plug to drain I blew the head gasket, can't find the oil plug to drain the oil out of it to get the head gasket fixed. I was gonna put some just sealant repair in it.
Yeah.
I'm vision impaired,
Let me make, just for some of my, this is just an idea.
okay?
You've got a nice place there.
Yeah.
You need to get what the value is for it.
I'm thinking, yeah,
I don't think you're gonna get the true value the way it is right now.
right.
Is there any way that you can go to your bank and get some money to where you can pay somebody to bring this up and then sell it?
I'm on $700 a month, 334 is insurance. That's how much I get. $700 a month is and just the taxes on this one running me $300 a month. Like, it prorated, they're
Right.
delinquent. This is a property list, this is a stack of the properties I own in Rankin County, about 30. And I do have some ideas. I wanna speak to the board on a different matter. Do I wait till the end of the meeting, or?
That'll be in public
Yeah.
comment in a different part of our.
Okay, I wanna speak to the board, cause I've got some other things that I wanna present to the board and I wanna talk to them about.
Well, any
Not
of
even
those
pertaining to this.
other ones.
I'm looking at selling this house, putting it up for sale.
Okay.
And, but I wanna finish what I'm doing so they can see, and it'll be a doctor or a lawyer, cause
I don't want you to die out there trying to do this.
well, I'm not
But
going
we
to,
gotta
I'm
get
not
it
going,
done.
but I don't wanna lose I got a Harley, I don't wanna lose my toe, big toes, both big toes. I'm at and I've already lost one toe, that's why I'm so
Yeah.
worried, I've lost it, just didn't even think nothing, just like that finger's just red, that's all the toe was, and he said, you gotta lose your toe, and I threw up.
Yeah.
So I said, go with medicine, so Monday he comes in and says, you have to lose your toe, your foot, or your leg. I said, we'll take my toe.
Yeah.
And it was just a little toe, but now it's both big toes. And like I said, I showed Mr. Kobe yesterday. I was out there, working to get it to where it is. And I even went out there yesterday and into last night doing, like, a lot of the hay is covering some of the features. Like there's yuccas all along the top ridge of the hill. Yucca plants, green yuccas. And there they are. There's two right there. But they go all along that front. And I packed them, then they get big too. They get 20 foot tall and 15 foot wide. Those yuccas, I'm very familiar with all the yuccas. Not every type, there's bunches.
Okay. Well, I
But
think-
those are unique.
all
They're
right,
getting
I
tall.
think we're good, and like I said, I made the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay,
Brad,
I
second
wanna
the
speak in
motion.
the public comment, so just let me know. I'm
Okay.
sitting here waiting.
Any
on you.
further discussion?
Thank you, sir. Thank y'all.
All in favor?
Aye.
That public hearing is closed. We'll move to item 6, gentlemen, which is the Justin Thornton nuisance property at 150 Floyd Street. This is District 1 property. We'll open that public hearing. Brian will demonstrate with photos. I'll ask Mr. Thornton or anyone representing Mr. Thornton to be prepared to come forward to address the board, please.
We received a complaint for rubbish and debris and inoperable vehicles. Certified letter has been received, but no contact has been made. And these are the pictures taken yesterday.
Mr. Thornton present.
Anybody present? Yeah, have y'all been in contact with them?
They did receive the certified mail notifying them to be present for today's hearing, Sid, so they're on notice.
Right, is this, out of town, just out of town property?
No, sir.
Like, own it?
It was served at
Okay.
150 Florida Street.
Okay, I didn't know about, whether they was renting that property or somebody, yeah.
What you want to do?
Yeah, I declared, nuisance. And
Go on and send it up.
right, go
Yep.
ahead and send up, give them 60 days and see if they make any, or 30 days, see if they make any
Yep.
progress, and
Yep.
then that way we don't have to come back again through here.
Second.
I made a motion. Brad seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
That's all we have.
Is that all you have?
Yeah. Guys,
Adjourn to 28.
I'll make a motion to adjourn to the 28th.
August.
hang on just a second. Ms. Gibbs. This is Robin Hood Lake.
Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
I think, there's one item, gentlemen, that I'd like to add under nuisance considerations and potential zoning violations on your planning commission agenda, if I may. This would be item 7.
Do I need to rescind that?
Well, I don't know that anybody seconded your motion just yet, Brad, so I think we're good. If I can get a motion to add, this will be Cianna, C-I-A-N-N-A Gibbs. This is at a piece of property that does not currently have an address, but is accessed off of Pinedale Drive in Robin Hood subdivision. And Ms. Gibbs was served with notice to be present today for consideration of the condition of the property and her activities on that property. And so I would ask for a motion to add this item for consideration under this particular section of the Planning Commission agenda.
I'll make a motion to add this to the agenda.
I second it. Brad made a motion to add. I second the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Gentlemen, there was a certified mail notification letter that was prepared. It's dated July the 15th. One of our constables was able to take the original of the notification letter and actually personally deliver that letter to Ms. Gibbs. It was dickens of a time trying to get connected to her. She has apparently purchased 2 of the lots in the Robin Hood subdivision. They don't have addresses, but those 2 lots she has occupied and has begun constructing what appears to be a dwelling on this property. She does not have a building permit. She has not approached, from what we understand, she has not approached community development with any of the plans. There has been no building permit issued, obviously, but she is acting to construct apparently her own residence from material that she is bringing on site, staging on site, and apparently attempting to construct. And so we were able to get her served with notice of your action today, and she was told in this notification to be present today, July 31 at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna ask that, that public hearing is now open. We won't have, I don't think we're gonna have any photos to demonstrate available for us today, but
Is Miss Gibbs
yeah.
here today?
So first let me open that public hearing, okay? That public hearing is now open, and so I'm gonna ask Ms. Gibbs to be prepared to come forward to address the board. She'll need to give her current address to the board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Cianna Gibbs. Current address I reside as is a 595 Rock Road Drive. It's in Georgia, so I just come back and forth every once in a while. I guess I'm asking the notice I received according to the code. I looked it up and whatnot, and it says I was being called here because of the uncleanliness of my property.
I think the issue is this is a platted subdivision, correct?
Yeah, let me clarify something for the record, because I want to clear up what is clearly an error that you've just heard. She was placed on notice of not only 19.5.105, which is our nuisance consideration under state law, she was also told that the Rankin County zoning ordinance will be implicated in this hearing, and that zoning ordinance has the requirement for all of the permitting, all of the necessary applications for construction of dwellings. Everything that's in our regulations is implicated by our zoning ordinance. And she was also told that she would be before the board to address the International Property Maintenance Code that is adopted by this board. So don't mislead this board or anybody here. You were placed on notice of multiple violations, not just the condition of the property. Zoning ordinance and property maintenance code violations are before this board in this hearing, and you were placed on notice about that.
I just received the paperwork about 4 days ago, and it
Okay.
was, as he stated, written out on the 15th. According to, trying to remember which, yeah, I got it about 4 days ago.
Ms. Gibbs, would you like to address the merits of why you're here? Why are you constructing a dwelling without a building permit?
Well, I wasn't aware.
Okay.
I didn't do my research before, my due diligence before I bought the property, so I wasn't aware. And also the structure that I'm building, it's under 120 square feet, and I was aware that you don't need a building permit for that.
Who told you that?
Hmm?
Who said that to you?
I read that in the zoning ordinance.
She came to our office and requested a permit for a camper, I believe. Right,
And also
Ashley?
my address, several times.
Yeah.
That's
So,
it.
Can you explain to the board why you would continue to work on this site when there's a stop work order that has been posted?
Because
My name is Terrence Horn, I'm her father.
Okay,
My address is 595 Rockboro Drive in Stone Mountain, Georgia,
yes, sir.
30083. She's 25 years old, she's a new graduate. She's just trying to get a start out. She was very excited about getting the property. I don't understand why you're attacking her like you are, but okay, that's what we have to deal with. She did not know, she was not aware. If someone will tell her what to do, she's a good kid, she will do
And
it.
I understand that, and listen, I will help her out any way we can, but the problem is the 2 lots that she has purchased is not adequate enough for the sewer system that the health department requires. That's not the county. The health department requires at least out there 1.5 acres to 2 acres. Those 2 lots total how much?
Less than.
Yeah,
There's
it's-
like 3 or 4 lots required out there.
Okay.
For that.
For that, you got, if you want to build anything to have any type of sewer treatment facility on there, you got to have at least 3 or 4 lots out there. Then you got to come to the board, the building department, after you get some type of sewer treatment facility through the state, to come to us and let us approve whatever you want to do out there. And that's, you got to purchase a building permit.
And she knows that now,
Okay.
and has no problem with that.
As long as we,
Now, what we do, the problem that she does have is that she seems to get harassed every day. Every day.
nobody knows what's going on. I got neighbors out there calling us, wanting to know, hey, I mean, at one time they thought somebody was dumping debris on the side of the road, and it was a big tote that was on the side of the road, wood one day, and I mean, people were just thinking people were illegally dumping stuff on a brand-new road that we just paved out there.
Okay. The way this exists, you did not tell her what to do. You need to tell her what she needs to do, and she will do it.
Well, that's the
She
building
is not,
department.
she's not trying to stand up to you or any of that.
Okay.
But she needs to know specifically what I need to do, and if you tell her what to do, she will do it. She's asked, she's gone and filed.
She doesn't
can't-
have an adequate enough property in that particular spot to do anything.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but don't punish her for it. That's all I'm here for.
Yeah, we're not really punishing her.
We
We
don't.
hadn't done anything to her. We just
I know you haven't
stopped her.
done it yet, but there's got to be some, some result of this.
Well,
If
we-
it keeps going, if it continues, then there would be some
Well,
result.
it didn't continue, because as soon as you put up your stop building, you're right. You're exactly right. Please excuse me. As soon as the stop building was, posted, she stopped.
Okay.
She did not keep going. Like I said, she's a good kid. She's not trying to buck you. She just didn't know.
Is that
Look,
What can
happening?
we
Is that-
do? What can we
Let's
do?
work together friendly.
Yes.
That's,
What can we do?
we,
Well, the first thing you're gonna have to do is find the neighboring property owners and purchase more lots to be adequate in compliance with the state health department.
and you really should go to the state health department and let them tell you what the minimum amount of acreage or land you need to have a septic system.
And it's usually like
And then
1
tack that.
almost 2 acres.
But they're the ones that tell us that, and that's from the ground, the soil type, the topo, and the health department handles all of that. And then after you get that phase, and you decide what type building or whatever, then come back, and I believe our people will be very nice to you and your daughter. I think, probably got off on the wrong foot.
Sounds like it.
And I apologize for that. These guys up here didn't go out there. But, I don't want you to feel like that anything about this county has a problem with your daughter or you. We want to be your friend. I want to see her do good.
Right, because she picked this place.
Yeah.
I did not.
Right.
Well,
She
she
wants
looks like
to
a
be
very
here.
good citizen that we would like to have in Rankin County.
But she just needs to get to a point to where she can accumulate more of the property around her
Okay.
to get it in compliance with what the state health department requires, because it's not a public sewer out there. It'd be different if it was, some kind of public septic sewer system out there. It's
I
not.
understand. What can she do so that she's not operating under a cloud of liens and?
Well,
Threats.
don't continue with construction,
Until you get a permit.
and get the permit and get the health department approval. Now, if you wanna build a dog fence out there and have something like that, it's fine to do it, you just can't live on the property without proper sewer, water, electricity, that type of stuff. And, that's all really between those guys over
The
there.
water
When I say
associate-
water and sewer, the sewer is the most important.
The water association out there is not gonna give her a meter and give her water there unless she's in compliance.
Okay.
Sir, what we'll do is, as soon as you're done here, we'll get your contact information and we will walk you through this step by step.
Okay, and, can you also walk me through the process of getting that address? Because that's why, as it was described, it took the Dickens to get
Yeah,
there.
they'll help you
Yeah,
with that.
we'll
Because she has no address.
We'll help you with that.
The address, I don't think they're gonna issue an
They're
address
not.
until there's adequate enough of property there to put something on there. That's the whole thing.
That's
You
what
can't
they
get
help
an
with.
address
Yeah.
there. You got to have enough of property there to acquire to get an address there.
So,
The health
to live
department's
there.
the hurdle.
Right.
You're gonna have to satisfy the health department, state health department, before you can get an address.
We will work with you.
Okay.
We know we need some more land. That would be something I would work on immediately.
Understand?
And then get in touch with the health department and find out exactly how much land you need to have. And then, once you get past that, come back to these guys, and they'll be more than happy to help you, I promise you.
They'll give you a certificate or whatever that you'll hand to the building department saying, hey, I do have enough property to have a septic system here, and this is what kind of septic system I'll have to have to treat any kind of water discharge. And then when that happens, they'll issue you an address.
And we must have that before we can do anything else. That is step one.
Okay.
We can't jump to step two until step one has been taken care of. So when you get that 335 form from the health department, we can talk. And then we can work on an address, and then we can work on the building permit.
Okay.
Sir, thank you for your service.
Yeah, that's right, thank you.
You're welcome, and I appreciate you
Yes.
saying so.
Hey, thank you, I hope you didn't get stuck with a piece of property that you didn't, I don't know who you bought it from, I hope that that's not the case, that
Oh,
you
no.
bought
I
something you're
just-
not gonna ever be able to use, but, maybe you can buy some property around it, or worst case scenario, sell it to your neighbors and go buy a piece somewhere else nearby that's big enough, or
I
something
was
like that.
planning
so.
on buying the lot behind me.
Sure.
It's about 0.6 acres, or about maybe a little less than half acre. One of my neighbors gave me the contact information, cause I looked up the deed and whatnot, and the parcel, it was owned by the church, and there's no address or phone number on the deed or whatnot, so, but my neighbor actually knows the people who own it, and he gave me the information, so
Okay.
I'm getting ready to contact
So you're
them.
working on that, excellent, so
All right.
it'll work through, yeah, absolutely.
So
Thank you.
how will we leave here today?
I can get your phone numbers. And,
Give them your contacts, and when y'all get something worked out with the health department and acquire enough of property there, you come back to our building department, which is next door, up the hill.
Okay.
All right,
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming all the way
Appreciate you, Ms.
from
Gibbs.
Georgia.
My pleasure.
number and then
All right, that should be it. Anything else?
Do we don't need to take any kind of action on that, do we?
You have a stop work order in place, it will remain in place just as a protective measure.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think you set a reasonable expectation that there should be no construction activity of any kind until we are compliant with the permitting process.
Now, my motion is gonna be to adjourn to August 28th.
I second it. I was fixing.
Brad made a motion to adjourn, Steve seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Adjourned to August 28th.
Now we go to our Board of Supervisors.
All right. Now, I would like to call to order a meeting of the Rankin County Board of Supervisors. We start with public comments.
Mr. Muse wanted to address the board.
Let's do our 3 minute.
Well, these people have been waiting, let's get to
Let
him.
them, yeah.
You gonna go ahead with the,
Said we do have a public hearing on the.
or is he the only one under public comment?
Yeah, let me make sure that the folks who were here present today are
Right.
not intending to speak in public comment, but they're here for something else on the agenda.
Okay.
We have a matter called Emma Boone conditional use permit. If you're here for that, public comment is not the time to speak. So is there anyone else here to speak in public comment? Okay, we can assume that everybody else here is on the Emma Boone matter. Is that correct?
And it won't be much longer.
All right.
In 3 minutes, okay? You'll come back up and, yes, sir, come on back up.
Hello, Board. I already introduced myself, Lauren Muse. Commend y'all for the great job you're doing in Rankin County, how good the roads are looking, how wide the frontages are, and, don't know if this would be, who actually does like the amphitheater and the dog park? Was that Rankin County? Was that Brandon?
City of Brandon.
Brandon. Okay, I like that. I was really surprised when they did that. Wanted to introduce myself to the board. I'd like to run for Board of Supervisor in a district that I could live in any district that one of y'all may know you're kind of leaving. I'm not trying to buck nobody out of their place. I want to align myself to be a Board Supervisor. I can sell that house and live in any district. Another place I call home is 3707 Highway 80 on half mile of Highway 80 frontage across from the peach orchard, right before you go into the trestle at Gooley Road. I own that half mile on the left.
That's District 4.
That would be Steve's
District
district.
4,
Steve,
my district.
But I could
yes.
be in any district. I've got some other properties. I own near the Cotton Venue, Old Pearson Road,
You got any in
where they're doing the
Pearl?
cell tower.
You got any in Pearl?
I think that's.
Probably. That might be Pearl there.
That's what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
I think.
Where the cell tower is, about,
Yeah.
Ebenezer.
That'd be Jay's district. I
Yeah,
think.
it's
I think they're looking for
That'd be yours.
Ebenezer. Well, anyway, I've got the 18 acres there, they're building the cell tower, and that's like the highest, second highest home site in Rankin County, I'm told. I know it's tall back in the back. But, look,
got
this
any
is a
around
stack of my
Puckett.
Rankin, this is how many Rankin County properties I have, 30 plus or minus. I think it's 30, and then I've got some ideas too, for like, I've got my eye on an airstrip in Rankin County that I believe would be attainable, and I know that Rankin County's less than number 5 in everything you wanna be in, probably 1 and 2. Madison being, I wanna help bring some of the money there to Rankin County, because we deserve it.
Thank you.
Airstrip, need an airstrip, so they can, they got Hawkins, they got their little airstrip, we need something. I've got my eye on one that where they had it, Payne flying.
Yes.
That's obsolete now, they're using drones to
Yeah.
crop dust, so that may be too small. And then not far from it, just down the road on Gooley Road, I've got a place where could have a reception, the county, could have a reception area for people that come in on a 6-acre swamp. The beaver's dammed up. That's how I know beaver dams, because I dug one. It's 100 yards long, and I dug it bunch of times. Killed 17 beaver just to build a road across it to put a house back in the back. That's where I would say the place could be, because like the dog park, I love hearing water trickling, like just to hear it running, and that would be nice to, somebody's walking, the children are walking the dog, and the adults go over there and sit and hear a little waterfall or something, water feature. Rankin County needs one.
Right,
I don't know why we don't have one yet. Just hadn't got to it. That's why.
right.
But I want to talk to whoever I need
You
to talk
get your
to.
yard finished up.
And
with
that's,
that
well,
water
look,
feature,
y'all gonna be
people
able to see
can
my
come
yard,
by.
and you're gonna say, hey, he really can do this, and you'll be like, okay. That's what I was gonna say too. And then the yard, I've got a lot more little. I'm just fixing it really for somebody else, because I don't need a big house. I had 6 children, single dad with 6 children. Single dad, started out with 8-year-old down to 2-month-old, single dad, little single file line.
Right.
Now I'm dealing with health issues on my toes, which I do have documentation of that. I can show you. And she's probably gonna give me 20 or 30 days bed rest, so I won't do nothing hardly on the house till my toes are healed.
Right.
But,
Well, we
that's
gave
what I
you
wanted to say.
60
Who do I
days.
need to talk to as far as to align myself to? I'm not trying to take somebody's position. I wanna be a part of it and be a part of Rankin County's
I
growth.
think
I'm a
you just
real
gotta
estate
wait till
agent.
there's an opening and
Election
go
year.
apply for election, apply for
Keith,
the.
Well,
Keith,
I wanna,
could you
I
help
wanna
him
speak
with
with who runs the Board of Supervisors?
Mr. Hicks.
Who's over the elections is the circuit clerk.
Well, I know, but I'm saying I wanna
I
get
would-
with you individuals,
I mean,
'cause I
that
could
would-
be in any district.
Yeah, but she can tell you when there's an opening, when there is a time to run.
Yeah, Keith,
Right.
could you get his number?
You can run against anybody anytime.
Oh, I know this, yes, sir, I know, I'm just trying to get in, but I'm not trying to do that. I'd rather somebody who's kinda knowing that they're
Stepping
kinda
out.
looking at stepping out, and I'll come in. I'm not trying to,
All right, give Keith your number and give him a call. Keith Hicks, he's a county administrator. He'd be love to help you. He likes doing this.
I like that plug I gave you.
All right.
Yeah,
Now,
anybody.
Mr. Slay,
I like the fuck it
you
out.
come up with public hearings.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, have a
I
good
got
day.
some other ideas on for Rankin County.
Okay.
You'll be back to see us.
Call Keith.
Might have to sell some of that property.
Gentlemen, the first item under my section today will be a public hearing on the Emma Boone conditional use permit at 935 Highway 469 North. As we customarily do, I'm going to open that public hearing now. As we customarily do, I'll do an introductory statement concerning what this matter is about. Then we'll give an opportunity for the applicant to come forward. I'm going to document for the purposes of the record the documents that are being included for the purposes of this hearing, and will compose the record. The applicant will be able to give a statement to the board concerning the application and the justifications for the application and any documentation that she wishes to present as a part of the record. Then we'll have an opportunity to hear from other citizens who are here today and have been responsive to this call for a public hearing. Those folks will also be given an opportunity to address the board concerning the application. I wanted to set as a ground rule for the board's purposes today, and it'll become clear after I read the statement about what this application is about, that we want to be careful that this board is not going to entertain any sort of comments or questions that relate directly to the issue of persons with disabilities, those who would qualify as disabled or potentially disabled under the American with Disabilities Act. I want to be very clear, this board is not going to entertain any consideration of comments that relate to that. And so we're going to restrict this board's consideration of the application to matters that are actually germane and legal. And so I wanted to say that very clearly. We don't expect any comments about folks with disabilities who might seek out services in Rankin County related to their disability. Ms. Boone is seeking a conditional use permit to operate a behavioral health service and community education program on the property of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church at 935 Highway 469. The proposed Highway 469 North. The proposed name is New Life Counseling. It'll be doing business as Boone Behavioral Health Services. The intention is to provide a comprehensive approach to education, treatment in the form of therapy, and consultation with the emphasis of psychosocial rehabilitation and day treatment services for all ages to include both children, adolescents, and adults. These services will be provided by qualified therapists, support staff, and administrative staff who are trained and experienced in providing services to all of those who qualify. The hours of operation as proposed would be Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Weekends would be reserved for individual therapy services on an as-needed basis. This is a 16.69 acre parcel. It's currently zoned A1. Your A1 zone allows for what's called public or quasi-public facilities through a conditional use permit. So that's why we are here on a conditional use application, and then that is the basis for it. Before we get started, I'm going to hand, I believe Ms. Boone's counsel is present, and Ms. Boone's counsel a copy of the documentation that will be submitted and included as a part of the record, if I may. Okay. The record is composed of Ms. Boone's application that was submitted to the board, a complete copy of the Rankin County zoning ordinance, a copy of the Rankin County official zoning map, multiple comprehensive exhibits that relate to photographs of the subject property and the site and the properties that are adjacent to the site, copy of today's agenda item that reflects that we are in public hearing on this date and at this time, copy of the proof of publication that this public hearing was published in the newspaper and has been printed for the entirety of Rankin County citizens and our population to know about this hearing and to be present today. A copy of the slide presentation that was given to this board in May and will be repeated and given again to this board in just a few moments. And a complete copy, Exhibit 8, is a complete copy of email communications between Ms. Boone's counsel and counsel for Rankin County concerning this hearing. A copy of the Constitution and bylaws of the New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. A copy of the an exhibit placeholder for the video of the May 15th hearing where this matter was first addressed. Exhibit 11 is Facebook material from the Pearl Chamber of Commerce that reflects the opening of a business that Ms. Boone established in the city of Pearl, a placeholder for the minutes of today's meeting, a placeholder for the video of today's public hearing, and a placeholder for whatever resolution results from whatever decision this board makes at the conclusion of today's hearing or thereafter.
Now, he has a copy.
He's been provided with a copy of
Right.
all of that documentation.
You're aware that the same, everybody's got the information. Okay.
So I'm gonna make this an official statement of the record. I'm placing that with my deputy chancery clerk for the purpose of preserving all of those documents for the record. At this time, I would ask for Ms. Boone or her counsel to come forward to the board and to give their presentation for the basis for the application and the justification for the action to be taken.
Northeast.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Neil Properties LLC.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, good morning.
John Hall, I represent Dr. Boone, as well as the applicant, the New Hope Missionary Baptist Church in this application. The biggest question, it seems, and this is a continuation from May 15th, is does this board want to get involved in church politics? And I would assume not. And I appreciate my colleagues and former law partner over there hitting reset to get us back in front of you. I can't add too much more with respect to the purpose of the proposed business, but at the end of the day, this business right here that Dr. Boone is seeking to open, it sits on the same footprint, the exact same footprint as a Head Start that was there. I think it's been there 40 years or so. It's been vacant for the last couple of years, so Dr. Boone entered into a lease agreement with the church, and there were minutes, there should be some minutes if the court, if the board attorney doesn't have minutes, I have minutes, but there are minutes from the church contemplating this lease as well as Dr. Boone using this property. At some point, we come to this hearing on May 15th, and there was some type of discrepancy between the church members and whether or not the trustee who actually signed the application had the ability and the right to do so. He wasn't given the opportunity in last May to say, yeah, I have that opportunity, I have that responsibility. He's here today, if the board would like to hear from him, which I would imagine you would, because if the biggest question is, did the church enter into a legal lease with Dr. Boone, and also did they enter into a proper application before this board? The answer to that is yes. Now, people, you're gonna have that murmur. Trustee boards, the board has the bylaws of this trust, of this church in front of you. The trustees are the financial officers of that church. That's sacrosanct. They were placed there by vote of the members, and they're trusted to enter into contracts and maintain documents.
Without a vote of the church, I'm just asking, does the church have to okay something before they can say yes or no, or no?
Apparently not, because the trustee, that's the thing, and again,
Y'all have an opportunity in just a moment.
if you look at the bylaws,
That's fine, you don't have to read it to me, I just take your word for it, I just ask. I know
again,
some churches function one way and some churches
Right.
function
A lot of
another.
times the church has to vote on
That's right, and
things
then
to
the
approve.
trustees sign whatever
You know.
the church.
and
Most of the
trustee-
time, that's kind of how things operate.
Right, and the trustee signed, and then,
Right.
like I said, they had a trustee board meeting, a trustee meeting, they signed.
Okay,
So there's, at this point, it's not the board's
yep. Got it.
problem, but there's a lot of detrimental reliance now if this doesn't go through, and ramification on this church, because she entered into a lease, a 2-year lease, purchased the 2 buildings on this, and has made improvements on that building, on both buildings, and is currently doing that as well. All relying on the fact that this church allowed her to enter these premises, to lease these premises, and also to apply for this zoning permit. So this conditional use permit, that's where we are. If Dr. Boone had not had those representations and relied on it she wouldn't have signed a lease here. She wouldn't have bought these buildings here. She wouldn't start advertising that I'm about to open up another mental health facility in this area. Before I go further, just for the record, because I will forget, I want to add to the record a July 30th, 2025 letter from City of Byram Alderman Deandra Hosey Sanders. Dr. Boone has another one of these clinics in Byram. So Alderman Hosey Sanders is just advising I'm gonna give it to you composite, how about that? That she offers quality health care. Same thing, the Byram Chamber of Commerce also is advising and vouching for Dr. Boone. Dr. Dennis Williams, interim department chair of the, is it sociology? What chair? Right, he's a professor at Jackson State in support of Dr. Boone and her efforts in the past. And last but not least, Shawana Williams, who's also a colleague of Dr. Boone, also vouches for her and her clinical services. That's not what we're here about, though, y'all.
Right.
I don't think that her reputation is in question. The biggest question is, did the church and the trustee, the gentleman that signed on behalf of the church, have the ability to do so? And I'd like to ask Mr. Whitehead to step up if you have any questions for him to explain how he became to sign these agreements with Dr. Boone, and as well as his ability and his authority to do so.
Yeah, I think it would be appropriate for the board to hear that at this time. Yes.
Let me use this to you now.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
My name is Lee Whitehead. My address is 333 Sundance Circle. I'm a member of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, serving as current trustee, chairman of the trustee board.
How long have you been in that role, position?
About 11 years.
Okay.
Yep. And the reason the lease was signed was I thought I was doing my duty. I knew I was doing my duty. We had, before the deacons of the church voted on not to have business meeting with the congregation because it resulted in argument all the time. And so they presented that to the pastor of the church. Okay, so that's what we enforced. You know, at the meetings, and it would be between the deacons and the trustees. So we had a meeting, I can't think of exactly what day it was, with Dr. Boone, Pastor Boone, and the deacons and the trustee ministry. And we voted on Dr. Boone renting the property where the Head Start sat on.
With a head start.
Where the Head Start
Where it
sat.
used to be.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, yes. They sit right there. Okay, these are minutes. Okay, and they do have the minutes where we had talked about it, and it was voted in motion and second. And it was about the lease was a 6-month grace period, and for her not to pay any rent from February, I think March, up until August, which would be next month coming up. And then she would, when she started paying, she would start at $600 a month, and every month she'll go up until she hit $800 a month. So the reason I signed what I had to sign with the Board of Supervisors and the lease, because I was exercising my duty, what the pastor and the deacons had in the church had gave me to do. Okay?
Are you still a member of the church?
I'm still a member of the church.
Is Pastor Boone still the pastor of the church?
Pastor Boone is no longer the pastor of the church. Any more questions? I'm still the chairman of the trustee board.
How do you come to that position? Are you appointed by the church, or they vote you to this?
I was appointed by the church.
Okay, okay. All right. like serve a term, or do they keep appointing you each year, or how does that work?
Well, when they chose me, I've been serving ever since.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay?
Those units right there that property that belongs to Ms. Boone now, y'all deeded that property to her?
Or leasing
No.
it?
Oh, it's
No.
just a lease?
It's just a lease.
Okay, so the buildings that she brought in, where are they at?
The building she brought in,
Yeah.
She didn't bring
She
the
had
vote.
brought
she didn't
them.
bring no building.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
What's
That's the
there
building that
belongs
was
to
sitting
the
there where the Head Start used to
I
operate at.
understand now. I thought it was,
Now, she purchased the building.
So the buildings and the land are separate.
she did
Yes.
purchase the buildings.
That we're already sitting.
Yeah, she purchased the building
But not
from the
the
Head
land.
Start,
Okay, not from y'all.
not from us.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
they
she
pulled-
wanted is to lease the property.
Right.
So it's
For
a,
2
it's a
years.
land lease.
Right, so she can move the buildings, she owns the buildings, she can move them off the property, cause she owns them, correct? Right, and make sure I got the right, yeah, so you can go in there and remove the buildings, cause you own them.
I can address that.
Please.
Please.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
we're a
confused,
little
either she
confused.
owns them or she don't own them.
Yeah, no, she owns it. The question, like, I talked about detrimental reliance initially, right? She can move them for the cost of $40,000.
Right,
But they're hers. She could do
yeah,
whatever
she can
wants.
do, she can,
Hers,
yeah,
and they're sitting on property that she's properly leased.
Right.
That's where we are.
Right.
And again, it's quite ironic how the trustee, well, you were the trustee before Pastor Boone, right? Yes. All right. There's this whole notion of some kind of collusion, all right? This man was the trustee before Pastor Boone. Let's just be clear, Pastor Boone is Dr. Boone's brother. They signed all this stuff before Pastor Boone was kicked out. They kicked Pastor Boone out of the church, right?
Pastor Boone's gone.
it's finna
Then
get
you wonder
ugly.
why. Then you wonder why a decision was made for the deacons and the trustees to make business calls and meet just amongst themselves. That's why. It's in front of you right now. The church opted to say, hey, when we make business decisions, it's gonna be between the deacons and the trustee board. They vested them with that power. They exercised that power faithfully. Yet here we are.
Do we
All right,
have any deacons here?
Look, how many people do we have that's for what they're wanting to do? If you would stand up, that, other than these three right here, and then, so there's 5 of y'all.
6?
Some folks are at work.
Right, how many live in Rankin County? In the district round by it? So just 2. So Miss Boone, you don't live,
I live in Rankin County, I'm not sure what district I was moving.
Well,
no,
But
you
you,
just
but
moved.
you live in Rankin County. Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
she just moved here, she said. Okay, so I guess we need to see if
So-
anybody wants to
I
speak.
just have
in-
one more thing.
Okay,
Unless I get a rebuttal.
right.
If I get a rebuttal, then I'll say it.
Yes, we will have an opportunity for you guys to address any,
I'll save it.
any opposition.
Okay.
I'll say it. Does the board have any questions of me at this time?
Well, let me ask this, John. We need, I need to know, is there anything else from the applicant that relates directly to church authorization for the transaction? Are y'all satisfied with the state of the record on that
Do you
issue?
have minutes in there? I can't remember.
There is minutes where the church gave the trustee and the deacons and the preacher the authority to vote and make decisions without them. Is there minutes on
I
that?
didn't pull those minutes, Mr. Gaines. The only thing I pulled were the minutes pertinent to, because I didn't know, I've done a bunch of these in Hines County, other places. This is probably my first and last church deal, that I'm but I can tell you this, I didn't pull those.
He said
So,
he has that.
well,
He probably has those minutes.
There's no minutes on that. This is not my help. But it was done over between the, meeting with the, trustees and the deacons was called.
But the church didn't vote to give their authority to the deacons, trustee, and pastor. The deacons, trustee, and pastor said, we're gonna make decisions because we have too many arguments when we give it all out to the church. Is that?
Deacon made that decision.
Right.
Because
Okay.
it's going on now
I
at the
understand.
church.
I
All right,
know,
that-
they arguing amongst each other.
John,
But I ain't, I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm just here to,
Right.
defend my action
Well,
of what I
your
do.
actions aren't
Right.
questions.
All right, thank
We're
you.
not questioning.
thank you, Brother Whitehead.
Appreciate it.
John, if you'll move now to the actual application, and any additional information that y'all wish to present in addition to your application as it relates to the actual intended use, and how that conditional use process needs to be handled.
Dr. Boone will address that.
Oh, good morning. Finally, I speak.
Good.
All right. As you all know, I'm Dr. Boone. My address is 693 Pelahatchie. I do live in Rankin County, and my business address is 2102 Crossbridge Boulevard in Byron. I'm here today to formally request a conditional use permit in Rankin County under the 70501 zoning ordinance for operation of a community mental health program actually located at 917 Highway 69, Pearl, Mississippi. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Mississippi, New Mexico, and Arizona. For over 35 years, I have experience in the field of mental health. I've owned and operated a successful business in Byron for over 10 years. I'm an active member of the Byron Chamber of Commerce and the Mayor's Health Council. The proposed community mental health program in Rankin County is an expansion of a proven model of care tailored specifically to meet the needs of the local residents here at home. It has been exhilarating to have the opportunity to partner with New Hope Baptist Church in support of this shared vision. The church's willingness to lease a portion of their land to house my private-owned structures for my proposed program, along with the grace extended by their leadership to allow me to make necessary improvements, has been nothing short of inspiring. Their offer to even assist in areas of need affirmed our mutual belief in the value that this project would bring value to the community. This is why I must express how truly shocked and disheartened I have been by the recent concerns and feedback that have arisen in the past few months. When I first met with the pastor, the deacons, the trustees, and other members of the church leadership to discuss the business aspect of leasing the land, there was no indication that the proposed business would be in jeopardy or blocked. Based on those good faith decisions, I immediately began seeking permits, making improvements to the property, replacing floors, upgrading cooling systems, maintaining grounds, and restoring the facility with care and professionalism. So you can imagine how surprising and discouraging this turn of events has been, not to mention the financial burden imposed and the delays in this project. I remain hopeful that although there's public sentiment, this program will not be opposed. While I deeply respect those concerns, I believe that many of these apprehensions are based on misconceptions that do not reflect the true nature or the impact of this proposed program. The goal of this program is to provide accessible, community-based outpatient mental health services for children, adults, and families. Services such as day treatment and psychosocial rehab will provide individual therapy, group counseling, parenting skills, development, and mental health education. There will be no overnight stays, no residential components, or disruptive activities associated with this facility. All sessions will be scheduled during standard business hours, some Saturdays, no Sundays, and conducted in a calm and professional environment. This proposed business aligns with the intent of the ordinance, which allows for conditional uses that does not disrupt the character, safety, or tranquility of this surrounding community. The building structure will remain unchanged, and the site will retain its current aesthetic and residential harmony. There will be minimum signage or exterior lighting that detracts from the neighbor's residential atmosphere, and parking will be limited and managed to avoid congestion. The program's operation will not result in increased traffic beyond normal residential levels. The facility is targeted at serving residents within the community. The facility will not alter the character of the neighborhood, which is peaceful, community-focused, and family-oriented. The program will operate inside an existing structure that once served as a community as a Head Start facility, a place already known for education and supportive services. Many local residents, including neighbors in close proximity, have fond memories of their now adult children attending Head Start programs at this same location. As a part of my due diligence, I have personally engaged with members of the community to introduce myself and share the vision for this mental health program. I've spoken with neighbors in the immediate area, all of whom were receptive and expressed strong support for bringing back a facility that provides services to children and families. Additionally, I visited Briar Hill Baptist Church, which is a well-established community institution located nearby, and received encouraging feedback and support from church members and leadership alike. The positive response from the neighborhood reflects a shared desire to strengthen the community well-being through accessible mental health support. As you know, there are other established providers here in Rankin County offering psychosocial rehab, day treatment, or other services for adults and youth. Region 8 in Brandon, Brentwood and Flowood, and your Mississippi State Hospital, from which I retired from after 28 years of service. These local examples underscore the psychosocial rehabilitation and day treatment programs that already operate safely and effectively within Rankin County, including community-based services, which provides evidence that my proposed program aligns with these models and adds another avenue to support those in need without disrupting character. As the board deliberates on this zoning request, I encourage you to weigh not only the regulatory, but also the broader economic and human impacts of your decision. When local families travel outside the county for mental health treatment, the effects ripple through our economy. Consider a parent driving their child to 1 hour therapy session in a neighboring county. While waiting, they may purchase gas, grab lunch, visit a grocery store, or even browse retail shops, spending $50 to $100 per trip. That could have supported business right here in Rankin County. Multiply that by dozens or even hundreds of families over time, and the loss in sales tax and local economic activity becomes substantial. Although community-based mental health programs operate within Rankin County, this will help reverse that trend. It keeps families local, treatment local, errands local. It helps retain healthcare dollars and stimulates economy activity that benefits small businesses and local jobs. The zoning request is about more than buildings and boundaries. It is an investment in the well-being, resilience, and future of Rankin County. I respectfully urge the board to accept this conditional permit, recognizing both economic and human compassion beyond this project. In conclusion, I ask the board to approve this conditional use permit, not simply as a zoning action, but as a forward-thinking decision, grounded in economic sense, public health, and compassion. Let us not let fear or misunderstanding override facts, laws, and values. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I've got it. John,
That's all
do
we
you,
have at this point.
That's good,
do you
okay.
guys have a copy of the lease agreement that was executed?
I have it, I can email it to you real quick, or email it, I can probably send it to Drinkwater quicker, and he can get it to you if we can.
Yeah, so, as you know, John, in our communications about today's hearing, we were clear that we needed to have the record established today. So, we're not gonna be in a position to wait for the actual lease agreement to be provided. If,
He has a copy of the lease agreement.
okay, if we, yeah, may I see that? Gentlemen, with your indulgence, I wanna look through real quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you want
Can
Can we talk to a deacon that approved?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we're gonna move to the opposition here just a moment. I don't want to, I didn't want to ask John to stand down on their case in chief. I'm treating this almost like a court case. But, yeah, John, do y'all have anything to add at this point, knowing that there will be an opportunity for rebuttal as you guys hear?
I think maybe only two more. There's another letter from the church recently, as recent as what, last week?
All right. Hey, John,
Okay.
while he's doing that, do you
Yes,
have a
sir.
card?
I got an e-card I can give you.
Okay.
He don't know what e-card is.
Yeah, I may need your services. Maybe in a short time.
Hey, and he's telling the truth.
Yeah. Just text me. Yeah, yeah.
I'll run against one.
This is a letter I'll also add to the board, to the record. It's a July 12th letter welcoming Dr. Boone. It's signed by the deacon, the chairman of the deacon ministry, as well as the trustee, Mr. Whitehead. So if you look at the totality of circumstance, I think that the intent of this church was to obviously let this go forward. Now, we're about to hear opposition. I'll just hold that till for rebuttal.
Okay, thank you.
He asked me, was I going to inflame anybody, and I told him I don't want to do that.
State your name. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm Dr. Lamar Boone.
Okay.
I am the former pastor of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, and the current pastor of New Birth Ministries. I was present the last meeting, sat in the corner, and I heard some wisecracks and some laughs, but I took it and I understood because I was painted to be a monster. The real truth is, when you listen to the nature of the program and the business, you would think that it's something that not only a community could benefit from, but a church as well, especially when it comes to partnership. A true church that operate on biblical principles would have no business in a meeting like this, because we use the Word of God as our guide and our compass. It's embarrassing and it's hurtful, because for 9.5 years I taught peace, I taught love. It's not about the integrity of the business of the program that she's bringing. I think the elephant in the room is that she just so happened to be my sister, and that's her kryptonite. I wonder, how does a strong hatred for me come from people that I talked to once, prayed for, preached to, taught Bible classes to? And after questioning myself, how does this come about over and over again? Not to sound like a preacher, but I was reminded what happened to Christ after all that he had done. It's the nature that comes with being in this position, that you will be ridiculed, you will be taunted, you will go through some things because of what you're called to do and who you represent. As far as my sister is concerned, I stand behind everything that she stands for the simple fact, my mother had me, but she raised me. I was raised with integrity. I was raised to do the right thing, and that's what I stand on. When I first came to New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, I want to tell you, I'm supposed to be at work. When I first came to New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, there was a bunch of confusion. And the meeting, one of the first meetings that I held with the officers of the church, there were complaints about so many arguments and things that would take place anytime they would have a church business meeting. And even as I talk now, you will notice some things, even in the rear, without me even having to say a thing. The act that they wanted to put on the table was for business meetings to be cut for the sake of confusion, and that business would be conducted on the executive level, consisting of pastors, deacons, trustees, church clerk,
at your secretaries. And for a long time, things calmed down. Why? Why is it necessary to offer structure? Without structure and rules, that's the only thing that separates us from animals. The reason why you have a board of aldermen, because there'll be no way you can get anything done in the city of Brandon if you allow every citizen to make a decision. That's why you have officers. There's no need for officers if the body are gonna be self-represented. You don't need a pastor if the sheep can lead themselves.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad you cut me off.
Yeah.
I really am.
You-
I really am.
Yeah.
Got it, yep.
I thought you was through.
I'm done.
All right.
Yep. Anything else, John, at this point? Okay. Right.
John, we're gonna make the lease also, an item for the record. I wanted to state that on the record. So, at this time, gentlemen, it would be appropriate for us, I walked right past, and I want to apologize to our community development folks who were standing at the ready to demonstrate with the photos. I think we already know enough. You've already seen the presentation previously. You saw it on May the 15th. I don't believe there's any change at all from that presentation. Unless the board wants to go back through the photos, we'll dispense with that. Those photos will be an item in the record. But I walked past that, and I wanted to apologize to Brian for that.
Right.
All right? So at this time, it would be appropriate for us to ask for those who are in opposition to the conditional use application to please come forward. I would like to set a couple of ground rules. Again, I want to restate, we don't want to hear anything that touches or concerns the matter of disabled persons or persons suffering with disabilities. We're just not going to entertain those comments. And so I would ask those that are speaking to refrain from comments as such. But I do want to offer an opportunity for those who are in opposition to come forward and to state their case before the board and to give any information that they wish. I'd like for those who are not speaking to please be courteous and give the speaker an opportunity to deliver what it is that they want to say without interruption. Second, if those who wish to speak in opposition hear something that they wanted to say being said before them, there is no need to repeat that. And so please avoid repeating the same issue over and over again. If you could help us with that, we're trying to move through this as quickly as possible. So I'm calling for those who are in opposition to come forward. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, I'm Jimmy Billingsley. I live at 622 Thomasville Road, Florence, Mississippi. I'm an officer of the New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, deacon.
Explain that to me, an officer.
Well, I'm a deacon. Deacon.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I have here is the bylaws. And I have the responsibilities of a trustee with a trustee ministry. If y'all don't mind, I would like to read it.
Okay.
Trustees are financial officers of the church that are also responsible for exercise the signing of documents including records, contracts, checks, purchases, bill of sales, legal documents and transfers. The trustees shall hold the titles of the property of the church. They shall execute legal papers in the name of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church when a purchase, transfer of sale has been ordered by the authority of the church. They are the custodians of the papers and titles, but can only exercise the power vested in them by the vote of the church. That was not done. It was not brought to the church. We found out that Miss Boone had purchased those
Headstone.
yes, she had purchased those units. In that meeting that Reverend Boone was talking about, in that meeting. And during that time, we didn't know it, we didn't know anything about it. He didn't come to us, to the deacons, and say that his sister was planning on buying those trailers or anything. And also I was in that meeting that he's talking about. Now, we got 6 deacons at that church. He only invited 3. He had the trustees in there, and I think maybe 4 of those in there.
And you were there.
And I was there. And he also had one person in there that's not an officer that voted. You know, now us deacons, we didn't vote for that.
So none of the deacons that were present voted to move forward on.
Right.
Okay.
None of the deacons voted to move forward on that. And just like I say, he had one person in there that's not even an officer of the church, and that voted. So, and
Sir, do you mind if I ask a question?
Sure.
If you will flip back on the bylaws 1 page, I think you'll see a heading there. Just go back 1 page from where you were. It's actually page 9. You see at the top of the page, it says deacons meetings.
Mhm.
Can you read that last paragraph to the board?
The deacon ministry has no authority itself. It can simply do the bidding of the church, but it can make such recommendations to the church as it deems wisest and best, which recommendations the church may either accept or reject as its pleasure.
So the trustee ministry requires a vote of the church before it can act.
Right.
It has the authority to act, but only once the church grants the authority to act.
Right.
And the deacons don't have any authority in and of themselves, but they can make recommendations.
Make recommendations.
And then the
yes.
church must vote to act
The
in its
church
own
must vote,
name.
yes.
Correct.
All right, yes,
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
But the way I see this is it's a matter that should be before the court to determine the outcome on this, whether that's a legal lease or not. And we build a nice record to turn over, but Craig, we don't have the authority to reverse a lease or start,
No, sir.
enforce?
Well,
No, sir. And that's not before the board, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, I
The
understand, but-
legitimacy of the lease is not before this board.
But to do a conditional use, it would be nice if we knew
Yes.
that it was standing on legal ground.
Yes. That's precisely correct, and I think we'll eventually
Okay.
get to that
All
point.
right, sorry.
I interrupted and I apologize, but I do feel like it's important for you. You've heard about deacons and trustees. And what I was trying to get across here to everybody in the room is there is a very real issue of the authority of deacons and trustees of this church to act without a church vote. There's a very real question about that, okay? And so far, what I'm trying to do is to educate us all. Exactly what did this body of believers do to authorize this possibility of land use? What did they do so that we are educated? And then the secondary question is, based on what we have heard and reviewing the very organizational documents of the church, does it appear that what happened comports with what the church has said is how they're gonna do business? That's the issue at this point. That's one of the issues. I wanna be clear. There are multiple issues here because we're still not even getting to the point yet about whether or not this particular use is appropriate under our zoning and land use regulations. We haven't gotten there yet. We're still trying to figure out, did this application that we are acting on get properly authorized by the property owner? And the property owner is New Hope Missionary Baptist Church.
Exactly.
That's the land, right? Forget the buildings. That's a secondary question. The land is owned by New Hope Missionary Baptist Church and is subject to the authority of the governing body of that church. And what I've seen in the bylaws And the Constitution says, unless the church gives away its authority, the entire body of believers, unless they give away or transfer some portion of that authority to somebody else, it's vested in the church body. Okay? So, to John's point, and he made it right out of the box, does this board want to get into church politics? Absolutely not. But does this board want to make sure that the property owner is on board with a conditional use application before you act on it? You better believe it. If the property owner doesn't want it, why are we acting?
That's right.
All right. So please proceed, brother, and tell them whatever else that you feel
Okay.
like they need to hear.
Okay, and then also that lease that you got, we found out about that in a business meeting, that Mr. Whitehead accidentally, I guess he accidentally let it slip out that there was a lease floating around. We didn't know anything about a lease, you know, on the for that property. So that just you know, just goes to show that they were operating in secrecy. 1 or 2 people, 3 people, and wasn't bringing it to the body as they should have.
And so I'm stating the obvious here, but I want it to be clear in the record. As a church member and as a deacon, you are telling this board that there was no church vote to
Right.
authorize this particular land use for the church's property.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, so
That's correct.
we have about 20 against and about 2 here with the church.
So does anybody, this gentleman wants to speak, so I don't want to cut you off, but.
Okay. And I also have a petition here from
Members?
from members and the surrounding people
Neighbors.
and neighbors.
Would you like for that to be made a part of the record of
Yes,
this
sir.
proceeding?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Robert Jones. I live at 201 Pullman Cove, Brandon, Mississippi, 39042. I'm a member of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church, Pearl, Mississippi. I am a witness to a conversation that was overheard at the last meeting outside by Mr. Whitehead. He made the statement that when they made him a member of the trustee board, that gave him the power to do whatever he wanted to do. That was a lie. We did not give him that. Once Pastor Boone came on board, Pastor Boone started making a lot of changes. He would call me a lot of times and tell me about how he disbanded the meetings, the business meeting, because of the fightings and the arguments going on there. And he said, I got tired of it. He said, I can't get nothing done. So if I'm gonna get my agenda done, I'm gonna make some changes. So I have certain ones that I work with within the body. And Whitehead is one of them. If he needs something done, he goes to Whitehead. Now, a lot of stuff I kept telling everybody, you need to be aware. Everything that I told them is now coming to fruition. Now, getting back to this incident here. The trailers didn't belong to New Hope. It belongs to Head Start. She bought them from Head Start. The church did not authorize Whitehead to make any decision whatsoever. We have to make a decision as a whole. Set up a representative to go in and sign anything on our behalf. We did not do that. In one of our meetings, Whitehead made the statement I want to apologize to the church because I was wrong. I thought I had permission, but I guess I did not. And now he has made a reversal of that, and now he's up here with Dr. Boone stating the obvious that now he's with them. So we see that Mr. Whitehead has an agenda with the Boones, and it's not for the church at large. We're not here for our own individual agenda. Now, what we have done in our last meeting, we sent a registered letter to Mrs. Boone to remove, she had 30 days to remove the trailers from New Hope property, or we will remove it, and we don't care where we move to, junkyard or wherever, we will remove it, and it's all legal binding if we do. Now, next thing is this, is that what we want, we don't want any animosity, we want peace. We are in a process of restructuring. People who don't want to follow in line with the will of God and follow peace in the home, because that's what New Hope is, a home, we are going to remove them. Thank you.
Thank
If I may. If I may, Mr. Whitehead just stated that he was still a member of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. Well, we got a Facebook post here where he's at another church. Well, he's at Reverend Boone's new church, and Reverend Boone is saying that he's a trustee and fixing to be a deacon at his church. If you would, play that video.
So he hadn't moved his letter though from New Hope yet?
It's okay, I don't need to see that. Y'all. No.
I mean, we don't really need to see that. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we don't.
Okay.
Yes, we will take that at face value.
Yeah, that's
Right, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Is
you.
there anyone else that wishes to speak on the, in opposition to the conditional use application? These gentlemen have spoken, unless you've got something different to add, new to add to what they've already said, there wouldn't be a need for anybody else to come forward. But I don't want to cut anybody off that has something that they want to add in opposition to this request. Okay? We done on the opposition. John, in rebuttal, we told you we'd give you an opportunity, and now's the time.
You got 3 minutes.
He might be getting paid.
This matter's been before this board since May 15th, and the opposition is strong opposition, but I think it's ironic for the gentleman to come up here and say they have to move their buildings, et cetera, in 30 days. I didn't hear him say they did a full church vote on that. Nothing like that. Yet, one thing you didn't hear, again, it's been pending since last May, or this past May, there's been no legal action to rescind that lease. They hadn't filed a deck action to say that that lease is improper in Chancery Court. They've taken no steps with the church now, because the church is running things amongst the members. They can do everything, according to them. They hadn't done anything legally. You can come and complain all you want, and we've been hearing that since 9 o'clock. But legally, you hadn't heard them do anything legally to rescind that lease, to rescind this application. In the biggest part, you've not heard anybody from opposition point to any ordinance that this use permit offends. All we're here, that's why I opened up. Do y'all want to get involved in church politics? I don't want to be in church politics, but I got paid to be here. And it's pretty bad over there. Yet again, if we're focused on the law and the ordinances that are before this board, there is no opposition whatsoever that this particular use permit offends any of those ordinances. Now, as far as the veracity of a lease, the veracity of an application, and all that, again, those in opposition have not done their due diligence, nor have they followed the proper steps to attack that. The only thing they're showing up and saying is he didn't have the right to do that. But they've had since May to file a deck action in Chancery Court, that big pretty court that y'all have over here. They haven't done that. And Mr. Slade's not in a position to give a deck action opinion, nor is this board. So the only thing that's before this board is a lease that's proper, that hasn't been challenged legally, is an application that's proper, that no one has pointed to any deficiencies for the ordinance. And that's what's before this board. I ask that the board approve this, and again, if it ends up in litigation, that's fine. That's not this board's problem. They have a problem with this board, we'll probably end up in Chancery Court, but for what we're here for today is the approval of a use permit. All that other stuff, we'll let Judge Odom, or who, one of those guys handle this, so that's where we are.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. John. I mean, being there's so much opposition against what is ever being proposed right here, I mean, why would you want to have a business there? I mean, honestly, I mean, if it's gonna be an issue from here on out,
They have,
I mean, why not work out some kind of deal and move
I agree.
to a different property?
And that may happen, but where we are today
I know.
is this. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Whitehead had apparent authority the whole way through. He had apparent authority as far as Dr. Boone was concerned. They can say no all they want. They weren't in the room, but there are minutes from that church. Now, there's some ambiguity about the deacons run this or what the church is.
Bylaws.
Again, in the bylaws, I don't know. But what we have before this board is pretty clear. So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may say this, and this is my understanding, when you asked about the opposition, and I speak on good faith, prior to this opposition, and this is why I say this is surprising to me, some of the very people who came up and spoke, some of the very people who are sitting back there, came to me before all of this, wanting jobs, volunteering to work, to do improvement. So why all the opposition now, I don't know. I honestly believe I was caught in the crossfire of Pastor Boone, and I just have his last name. Prior to this hearing, there was no opposition. No one said in any meeting, I attend the church from time to time, I don't belong to the church. I was asked in May to do a mental health summit at that very church. Would I think it would be opposed that I bring a mental health community business there? These people have always welcomed me. So why the opposition? That's still the question.
Yeah.
to me.
I don't think nobody's here.
These are the same people that welcome the business, wanted to work for the business.
All right.
Thank
That's the $1 million question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, is there anything else from a record standpoint that needs to be introduced into the record?
just with respect to the, you had a petition, an undated petition that, date on it? Yeah, the record, the petition, the call to action is not specific as to what they're actually signing for. It's not dated, doesn't show who actually asked for the petition to be drafted, so that's all I have.
Okay.
That's noted for the record as well. Gentlemen, at this point, unless there is someone else that intends to speak, or if this board has any additional questions that it wishes to raise, it would be appropriate for us to close the public hearing. Are we ready to close the public hearing? I want to state before I close the public hearing that I indicated to the board at the start of this public hearing the composition of the record as we knew it at the start of the hearing, and I went through exhibit by exhibit, and I stated for the record what each exhibit placed into the record is. Since that point in time, there have been additional documents placed into the record, and the video of this hearing will reflect precisely what those documents are. We've talked about each of the ones that got introduced. There's a copy of a lease agreement. There's a petition that was submitted. Those are examples of additional exhibits that have been made a part of the record officially. I want to state clearly for the record that the record is closed, that the board will receive no additional documentation and compose those documents as a part of the record. This record is now officially closed, and I'm going to close this public hearing. Gentlemen, my suggestion, you are welcome to take it or not. My suggestion would be that given the volume of documents that have been presented in the record, given the volume of the testimony that you've heard, given the very important considerations that have to be given to multiple aspects of this application, it would be my advice that you not act on this application today, but that you instead table this matter until August the 15th, 2025 at 9 a.m., at which time this board will announce its decision on the conditional use application before it. That would be my recommendation, and I would need a motion, if you want to follow that recommendation, I would need a motion to that effect, to table this matter to August the 15th, 2025.
Is there any reason that we need to table it, I mean, other than looking at more, or can?
Yes, sir.
I know you need to look at some more stuff, but can we can't act on it and then?
My strong advice would be that you act on the 15th, and that you give your legal team and your staff an opportunity to go line by line through all of the exhibits and make a clearly informed decision before you announce your decision.
I make motion table till August 15th.
Second.
Jay made a motion to table it to August 15th. Steve seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
But there won't be any more
No, sir.
hearings,
There won't be a
everything.
public hearing.
Right.
What you have just announced, and for everybody's benefit in the room, what you've announced is that the hearing we had today is now closed. That record is closed. And so what will happen on the 15th is literally this board will have an opportunity to announce publicly what its decision is with respect to this conditional use application. You will do that, if I have anything to do with it, you will do that by the formal adoption of a resolution that in writing demonstrates what your decision is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Good deal.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Craig. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That matter is closed. So those who are here who don't have any other business before the Board of Supervisors, you're welcome to leave at this time.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
Thank y'all.
I had a feeling that the bylaws of the church didn't say the trustees could just do what they wanted. We're trustees. I'm a trustee, but I'm legally bound to nothing because the church is the one that makes the decision. It's just my signature that says I'm signing with the church.
Okay. Good job.
No.
You did a good job.
Hey, good to see you, John. Okay. He's getting out of here. He don't get hungry. I better go use the bathroom. Keep telling me these meetings never went well. I ain't been in one
But
yet.
it's been 12 years.
We should just turn that over to Keith. Let Keith.
Leaving the church, we'll have
All right. I think you're up again, Craig.
Yes, sir, I am. Feel like I've been up here all day long. The next item, gentlemen, is a discussion of a potential action regarding a request that has been made by the River Chase Homeowners Association to the Board of Supervisors for permission to have Rankin County install appropriate traffic calming devices on the public streets of River Chase subdivision as a, quote, preliminary test that is limited in scope and duration as determined in the sole discretion of the Board of Supervisors. It's a long way around saying that our normal policy, and I want to state this very clearly for everybody in the public, our normal policy is that the Board of Supervisors, as the governing authority for all public roads in unincorporated Rankin County, has a policy that we will not allow for any sort of impediment to be placed in the public road of an unincorporated public road because of our desire to want to promote emergency response primarily. There's a secondary consideration. Obviously, we don't want fire trucks impeded. We don't want ambulance impeded. We don't want law enforcement impeded. And traffic calming devices are inherently impediments to traveled roadways. And so our policy is we don't allow them, right? The second consideration, and the reason why we don't allow them, is because invariably they will damage a vehicle. If you go over a speed bump or a speed hump or a traffic table too quickly, you will pay a price. You will damage your vehicle. And typically, where those sorts of impediments are found in a public road, those whose vehicles have been damaged will invariably ask the governing authority to pay for that damage. We do not want to inherit a lot of public liability for impediments in the road. The first question to be asked by the court is, how did that get there? The governing authority allowed it. Okay, you allowed it, you knew that it could cause damage, it caused damage, you get to pay for that. So rather than inherit a lot of liability, rather than impede emergency response, we simply have a policy that says we don't allow it. There's your policy. Now you have a request before you that says, well, just for this one time, and just as a test case, can we have some in this platted subdivision, in this area of the county where there's dense population, there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of traffic safety issues. We've had one incident where a speeder actually wrecked out in somebody's front yard in this very subdivision. So we have some other public safety considerations that may be applicable to this. Right, so that's what's in front of you. I'll allow for other discussion now.
So I want us to, go against our policy and allow this one time to see how it works. And if we have issues with it, we can pick it up. I want one, just one at a stop sign, the one particular that we saw where everybody was running.
So you just want one?
Yeah.
In the whole subdivision?
Right.
Okay. The only request I have is I might have just one I need on a dead end road. Not in the subdivision, but it's on a dead end road.
Well, I think it needs to be at a stop sign.
There you go.
We really would encumber some losses if we just put a speed
Well,
bump.
the speed limit's 25 on that road anyway.
Yeah,
Would that take any liability off the county if there's a stop sign there and they run that stop sign?
I haven't gotten to this point yet because I wanted to see what's gonna be the board's pleasure. Are we gonna go this route or not? Before I
We're
get into
still thinking about it.
what else I think, before I get into that, I wanted to make sure the board was either going to do this or not. So give me some sort of indication. Are we seriously considering it? If we are seriously considering the request, and we believe that this ought to be something that the county does, then I can give you some additional conditions that I believe are appropriate.
I don't mind listening to additional, I'd like to know how much liability we're gonna have if somebody runs a stop sign.
The answer, Brad, is that anybody can sue anybody else for any reason at any time. And so we will be exposed to liability regardless. But there is a greater risk of liability where the board literally permits an impediment in the public road and there is damage that results. There's a heightened risk. We are on notice. We know that they can cause damage. It is likely that somebody who doesn't know it's there and doesn't pay any attention to any warning signs will haul right through it, and we'll get a bad result from that.
Can District
Right.
5 put a bond on it?
Go over, Jay mentioned a study or whatever of people running this stop sign. I'm not familiar with it.
So
It wasn't a
We've
study.
seen a video,
This
didn't we?
guy come up here upset because,
I remember him.
Yeah.
Okay, but.
He just shows a video of it and.
It was multiple people that
There's
run that.
That's
several,
correct.
Yeah.
Is that,
They captured video, Steve, of both residents of the subdivision and non-residents coming into the
It's a
subdivision.
cut through.
They were
No.
running that stop sign
It's not.
No, it's not.
to nobody's business.
No, it's a dead end subdivision.
So aren't there similar things on state highways? Or is that not what we're talking about, those?
Yeah, the rumble
rumble
strips is,
We're not talking about
it's
that.
kind of a calming device.
Okay.
What we're talking about is a speed bump.
Substantially more than that, okay, got it,
Yep.
yep.
So, a couple of things, if you honor the request, number one, the road department's gonna have to install the thing, or we're gonna have to have a third-party contractor install it. I don't know how that's gonna play out, y'all will have to decide that.
Right.
So, we would inherit that responsibility, it would be at the county's cost, right? The maintenance of that device will be at the county's cost. My suggestion would be that if you're gonna allow this, that you put some very clear definitions on what it is, where precisely it's gonna be located, and what the amount of money you're willing to do, and how you're gonna warn the public, the driving public, that it's approaching. You gotta get all that pieced together. The other issue that I would strongly recommend is that you require the requester, in this case, it is on behalf of the HOA. I would require the HOA to produce a certificate of insurance showing that the HOA has general liability of an adequate amount, at least $100,000, that can be called upon to pay for any vehicle damage that might occur.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not gonna eliminate your exposure, but it would provide for at least an argument that some other party has inherited that exposure and that we're gonna draw from that. We would require in that certificate of insurance that they show the county as an additional insured under that policy. So that would be my recommendation on this. I would also set a duration that we say very clearly on the front end, that we're gonna look at this for a defined period of time. I don't know what that would be, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Y'all come up with whatever that duration is, and that you say, we will decide whether or not that's going to be in the nature of a permanent fixture or not, but it's leaving in 6 months unless we, the board, affirmatively say that it can stay. Set the expectations on the front end with the subdivision.
Well, I think, just like River Chase, or wherever one is to be put, that it needs to be majority of the people in that subdivision, willing and wanting to
You never gonna get that, man. We tried that with Avalon.
You don't think they
beat
would?
their heads up against the wall, and they couldn't ever get over 50%.
Right. Only reason I say that way, hey, let the people in the subdivision speak. Hey, if they want it, that's up to, to kind of like what we just went through with this church. We had 2 people for it that actually went to the church, and we had 30 back there that was against it. Let them kind of decide in the subdivision, whether they want them.
So,
I'm for it. I tell you, I don't have any issue with it.
Well, then, just let me do this one test site, see how it goes, 6 months. And if we have any issues, we'll pull it up. At most we're gonna be out is, somebody wanting their front end alignment done.
Well, they can hit a pothole in the road and ask for that, whether there's one there or not. Won't even be a hole, and they'll sue us and say, hey, they run off the road or they hit a pothole,
But you don't want them to have any kind of liability insurance?
No, because, why? We're still gonna be,
They're
at the end of the
requesting
day,
it,
it's
but
gonna
they're
be on us.
requesting us. They're requesting us.
I understand that.
Well, they
I don't
probably,
think they have the resources to do it.
well, they probably already have insurance already in the
See, it
subdivision.
surprised
They
me
got
that
any
they did.
common
It
area? or-
surprised me. That-
I just want to say, can we involve Tim in this as
Yeah.
what needs to be?
Right, the design of the device itself, there is some guidance, by the way, with respect to that. You don't wanna build them too big or too tall and all that other kind of good stuff.
There's 3 different kinds that you can do, so somebody's got to decide what you want to call them.
Well, today is just a discussion, correct? We can act on this on the.
There is potential action available to you,
Okay.
should you decide. Should you decide. See it on your situation where it's not a stop sign, it occurs to me that maybe rumble strips would be the way to go. Those are very low risk, and they do provide an audible response, right? If somebody's going too fast or approaching the dead end or whatever. The rumble strips are gonna give feedback to that. And that is a very low-risk way to introduce traffic calming without running the risk of damaging a vehicle.
I would suggest put it where the person requesting it, in front of their house.
Yep.
Because
Bum-bum.
it's
Bum-bum.
it's a nuisance.
Yeah.
We've tried this before, and we ended up taking them up because of the noise.
Okay. Mike, can y'all put rumble strips? Mike.
I got a man to
Yeah.
put them down there.
Well, no, I was wondering, if we could do it, it'd probably be better than speed bumps. I was gonna see if our department could do it.
I know.
We'd be,
I got a man in our
it'd be better than the
department to do it.
speed bump time we got through with them.
Well, let's go ahead with this and see what we're gonna do before we get off on other roads.
I need direction, gentlemen. There is potential action. You can act if you want to. I think Mr. Bishop's made a motion
Has he?
to authorize a temporary.
Did you make that motion?
I have not, but I will now.
Okay, make it. How long?
How long do you need?
6 months. I try it for 6 months, see how it goes. And we can revisit it after that, or if there's, if I get phone calls out to Yin Yang, we might take that circle up 2 weeks, so.
Alright, it's Jay's district, Jay's road, he got the request, I second the motion.
Jay made a motion, Steve seconded the motion. And, any further discussion?
Opening up a can of worms.
Do you have a location?
Yes. It's, River Chase and Billberry, I think so, is that,
So
yeah,
is that a three-way stop?
it is.
So would you want one on each stop sign,
Just on 2 of them.
on the two?
The main drag, the one that does not peel
River
off.
Chase Drive.
River Chase Drive, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just on River Chase Drive,
Stop sign.
yeah,
Byberry.
Byberry, yeah.
You want Tim?
Just on River Chase, that
One
one,
on each
yeah,
lane.
going and coming.
Each
Yeah.
approach to the stop sign, to the
All right.
intersection.
And do you wanna allow Tim and Mike to determine the type that would work best?
I don't care,
We'll work with you.
yeah. You have any other impediments?
Is that some bond money we use?
Mr. Bishop is ignoring council's advice on the certificate of insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So everybody's clear that there would not be a requirement for the
You want
HOA to
insurance for fire and
acknowledge
brand?
the risk.
I just assumed most homeowners had some type of general liability,
Some-
for
some-
common areas.
Some do, but most, unfortunately, Sid, most do not.
Most
Now, a lot of our subdivisions are very well attended to by individuals and businesses that have as their purpose that they will be a guiding hand for HOAs, local HOAs. There may be somebody here visiting with us today that knows something about how to operate and take care of HOAs. I wonder. Anybody here? Yeah. So I think I'm right on this, that he would tell you more than likely that if they have help, if they have a business that actually is a guiding hand for the operation of HOAs, those probably do have adequate insurance. They have directors and officers coverage, they have all that in place. Am I right?
You're correct.
But those who don't have a guiding hand or help,
Right.
been around for a long time, they probably don't have any coverage of any kind. So this board needs to understand, you're gonna inherit whatever risk and exposure that's there. You're gonna inherit it.
Do we have any risk in exposure due to accidents? If somebody just does
Yes,
fly through the stop sign? and-
Yes, sir.
I mean, the stop signs are there, and
Yes,
if
sir.
somebody gets killed there
Yes, sir.
without speed bumps there, do we
Precisely.
have some liability in that too?
do. We absolutely do. You're being sued or about to be sued
mean-
right now for a death that occurred on a state highway that you have no authority to regulate whatsoever. You're still being sued in your capacity as the Board of Supervisors on behalf of the citizens of Rankin County on the chance that somehow the county was supposed to have done something on a state highway.
So it's not gonna matter if we put the
It
bump there or
doesn't
not,
matter.
we still got some liability.
Right,
It's still-
either- yeah,
so
either
it's not
way.
gonna
Speed
matter.
bump or not, they're gonna say that your stop sign was
Okay.
inadequate, it wasn't in place,
got it, so
and we're,
wasn't the right height or
So-
something.
we're not enforcing
can't
law.
really hurt us.
Somebody
All right,
wants to stop
so we're
sign.
ready to vote on this?
We got a motion and a second.
Yeah, we had a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Man, that sounded painful. Thank y'all.
And don't, and we did slip
It'll
the
be-
one work dead end road, thank you, Jay, for that.
Yep, no
Unless,
problem.
You don't have to have that.
6 months, unless we revisit it, it's removed. If we revisit it and we can keep it going, right?
Okay.
That's right. We'll take it up 6 months.
We won't get to,
If-
From the time we put
unless-
it in. Now, they might take 2 months to go put it in, yeah?
hey, I know Craig's got a couple more. Do we wanna jump down there to the reservoir fire?
I do, thank you, Brad. In fact, I was just fixing to ask that. If, with your permission, I'd like to skip down to item E under my section, and let's go ahead and take care of the Reservoir Fire Department. These guys have been here the entire
Patient.
time, and I wanna say thank you to them for their patience while we finally got to this point. Gentlemen, a meeting or so back, there was a discussion, brought forward on behalf of the Reservoir Fire Department for a discussion that relates to 2 separate items, and I wanna remind us what those were. The first, you heard from department officials, members of the Board of Commissioners, and also from the chief, who are here today, that the current level of funding for Reservoir Fire Department is not adequate to meet the requirements for funding that the department needs in order to provide the services that they are under contract with Rankin County to provide. And because of that, they indicated to you that they felt like an additional levy, an increase in the current levy, there is a levy in place right now, an increase in the current levy would be appropriate to provide adequate funding for the area that they currently serve in order to meet a multitude of responsibilities that they have. Reservoir Fire Department is the only full-time department in Rankin County. All of our other departments are volunteer. And so they actually have full-time firefighters who are paid to serve on Reservoir Fire Department. That requires payroll, that requires personnel, it requires being competitive with your salaries in a very competitive market. It requires being cognizant that there are municipalities all around us and around Reservoir Fire who hire fire department employees consistently and can offer higher salaries, appropriate benefits, other things. And so they have to stay competitive in order to attract quality personnel. That was one issue. There are a multitude of others. They gotta keep up with all their equipment. They gotta maintain that. They gotta plan for additional equipment and other things. That was the first thing. Inadequate funding needs to be addressed, right? So they're back today to talk a little bit more about that. Second issue was they are prepared, if the board wants them to, Reservoir Fire Department is prepared to consider an expansion of their current fire protection district so that they can officially and not unofficially provide fire protection services where they are capable of doing so. And they'd be willing to go into contract with the county to provide additional fire protection where it's currently not official. They are responding, but they're doing that in concert with other volunteer departments. And it's a part of their response area, but it's not a part of their taxing district. And so they want the board to consider, if you want to make this official and you want to get the biggest bang for the buck for citizens in the area, rather than being unofficial, which they don't get any credit for, make it official so that those citizens, those housetops actually get credit for the fire protection in an official way that can be recognized at the rating bureau level. 2 issues: increase the levy, expand their territory. Y'all ready?
On the expansion, the reservoir during the middle of the day, especially, are generally the only ones that are gonna show up at a fire. And I'm talking about within the last year.
Sure.
Stoll Road, very rural, house fire. I heard it, I got there and they, of course, y'all were already there and putting the fire out, they saved over half that house. And I'm talking about a really big house. Lives, no one was hurt. They did their job, but they didn't get paid for it. It's outside of their district. And that happens every week or so. I think expanding that district is necessary for these guys to get paid for what they're doing routinely. We just expect it. On the millage, I want hard numbers. And then I want to go to the homeowner associations, to the people. I want you to go with me, and let's explain to them the increase in their county taxes versus their homeowners association, their home insurance reduction. Because I expect the reduction to be more, to save money by doing this, and to be able to expect that y'all are coming, not hope. And that's all I got to say about it. But I do want hard numbers, and I know, Josh, you're getting it. And then I'll be ready to vote on where we go. But I really want you and others, firemen, to go to these homeowner association and explain to them why we need it.
Why couldn't we have some type of?
Can I get Tom to introduce yourself to the board, tell the board who all's here on behalf of the department?
Joshua, we'll go ahead as the newest member.
Yeah, I'm the newest commissioner of the RFD board. I live in Castle Woods, so I'm kind of representing those rooftops. I think I've been a part of 3 meetings now, so kind of drinking through a fire hose, no pun intended, but really excited to be a part of it and the growth that we're seeing in that area.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Josh Martin.
Okay, Josh, great.
I'm Michael Robbins. I've been with the reservoir for 30 years. As deputy chief. Here to help with any questions also.
Y'all know Chief Swales.
I've heard.
He needs any introduction. Again, my name's Thomas Harrison. Supervisor Gaines, thanks for your comments, and I'd like to address a couple of those directly and expand on it even more. But first and foremost, I do have a mechanism that can help with the HOAs and talking with those communities. So that's going to be a very, very easy process. I promise you.
Excellent.
And as the commissioners, we all intend to be very involved in each of the communities that we represent, talking to our constituents and making sure they understand the basis of why this is needed. You talked about that house fire. Even more so, the communities are serviced out there by a wonderful volunteer fire department. But when a dispatch comes in for lifting assistance, it's hard to get somebody away from the dinner table that is a volunteer and go out there and help in those scenarios. So even more so than just those major fires, the reservoir ends up responding on a day-to-day basis in a lot of these situations. So it's more than just that big event. It really is day-to-day activity inside of those areas. That's more than you just see when we get to do something big and save a house. You're correct on the numbers. I have no problem getting the hard numbers between what this millage that we currently have and what we're asking. And we have the state rates that show where it would be from the current individuals that are out in your district versus how far we could bring them down. A piece of information, the reservoir currently kind of straddles that line between a 4 and a 5 rating. And what we've never wanted to do is get a 4 rating and then lose it. And then, because that's just not where we want to go with our constituents. With the ability and the additional capacity that we can add in as far as the department is concerned, we feel that we can get solidly into a 4. So there's not only a ratings improvement for the area that we're talking about for the annex, there's a real opportunity for improvement within the district that we currently serve. So yes, we're asking for more money out of individuals' pockets, but we hope that we can put more money back in. We do have hard numbers on that. The difference in the current area between a 4 and a 5 rating is somewhere around $100 a year in premium saved on a $225,000 house. So as those houses go up, there would be more savings, and that's based upon what the state publishes in their different rates.
That is from 7?
No, from a 5.
No, that's from a
From a
4 to a
5.
5.
Oh,
So just on that
so
small change, we're
let's
looking at a
say
possible $100 savings.
where I'm talking about, where a lot of the growth is, it's 7, 8, 9.
So if we went
Or 10.
7 to on a $250,000 house, class 5, average premium's $2,200 a year. On a class 7, $2,346. So you're looking at roughly $150 difference.
And that's from a 4 to a 5, though.
That's from a 4 to a 5.
I want to go.
No,
tell
no,
me
I'm sorry,
what-
that's from a 5 to a 7. From a 4 to a 7, you're looking at over $200 premium difference.
Okay, per year.
So for the annex area, you're looking at
Okay.
a real savings of potentially on a $250,000 house of over $200.
When you say a real saving, is that the margin? Is that between the tax?
That's what
Or is-
insurance company A
Yep.
versus would charge today versus insurance company A charging after a
Okay,
rate adjustment.
nothing to do-
to do
okay,
with the taxes.
Josh, what do you think that rating would be out there?
Well, if we were to annex that area, I got with the rating bureau to find out exactly what we can annex and them be a class 5, which we're currently
Okay.
a class 5 now. Like Commissioner Harris said, we really grade in a high 4, but we don't ever wanna take a high, anything's much easier to lose it. We're getting graded again this year, I suspect, and I feel real strongly that we'll probably be more of a comfortable 4. So it's a very real possibility that we could be a 4. If we're not, we can always ask for a regrade. If we get the tax millage increase, we make some improvements to whatever their suggestions are, come back in, do a regrade, could possibly even get a class 4, which is even more savings for them. But what they told us, the map that I provided shows exactly what we can take, and those individuals in that annex zone receive our rating. And we won't lose our current rating for everybody that's in our existing district.
Does that take in Stoll and Stump Ridge?
It does. Yes, sir.
Goes nearly
Sorry,
8
can you,
miles.
do you mind, Josh, going our way, which is where I'm concerned
Right.
about? Where do y'all cover up to now? Like how far up 470, I mean, not cover, how much is inside the district, up 471 and up 25? Where does it
So
stop?
up 471, we go all the way up to Stoll Road.
To Star Road?
Back to 25, come back down, and then it really kind of angles across and goes, you familiar with Fallen Oak, right?
Yeah.
It kind of angles across from there, back all the way across to kind of the Adams Road.
And you catch
area on
Reservoir
Hollywood,
East and
right.
all that's already
That's correct.
inside your district already?
And Station
Okay.
3 goes as far as, we respond to Woodbridge. Woodbridge is a pretty good sized subdivision.
Yes, it
This
is.
is a whole nother subject, but Woodbridge is a pretty good sized subdivision inside of our fire district, but they're not in our taxing district. We respond to them. We're the only ones that can respond to them.
Oh,
And a vast majority of them are receiving a class 5 along with Fallen Oak.
But they're not getting taxed, but they're
That's
not
correct.
getting.
They're not
getting
paying
all
any
the
taxes, but
benefits,
they're getting
huh?
the benefits.
Oh,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, we have a few little areas like that in our
So
district.
would
are
that be
kinda cut out.
expanded?
I think
That doesn't
we
sound like
can.
that would have to expand though, except that the taxes would have to change. I mean,
My advice is that we clarify and we clean up anything
Yeah.
that we see
Yeah,
as a
like that.
Yeah,
discrepancy.
for
We're gonna
sure.
clean
Yeah.
it up in this process.
I
Once
agree.
the board is satisfied how we're gonna do the process, and that's, I wanna address that with the board here momentarily, so just hold your fire on process questions, cause I'm gonna walk us through that.
I would like to also just add that take this new fire station and annex completely out of the scenario, okay?
Right.
Just pretend it's not there.
It's completely
We
separate.
need the tax increase regardless.
Yeah.
Inflation has definitely surpassed our growth.
Yeah.
I mean, inflation is way up here and we're way down here with growth.
As
So-
I explained to somebody else that said, well, isn't the expansion of buildings in the county paying for this or in your district? And we're saying, it's like making a pizza. You may make 10 more pizzas, but if the price of mozzarella is doubled, it's still costing you more to make those pizzas.
That's right.
And that's where we are in the situation.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah. Okay.
So it's rough us passing it without the public input. I mean, that's,
We understand.
That's my
especially this
concern
day and
there.
age right now, man, you know, they already ready to cancel us, you know.
And I think it'd be smart moving forward to have a plan to where we don't have to wait 15 years to make any adjustments, right? After we get past this one. You know, kinda, hey, let's plan on doing this maybe every 2 to 3 years
Oh,
where.
We already committed every 4.
Yeah.
So we're not we did that last week.
That's right.
Alright, good.
We were prepared for that.
I wish there was a way to do it before November, cause I know y'all missed the whole year then. I don't know, is there any, we can't do a poll, cause then, you know, we end up with 100,000 votes.
Well,
Right,
We
they're not
don't-
even, they're not even in our
Right,
district.
I don't,
Yeah,
we
I
don't, yeah, we can't throw it out there countywide.
So I have some information that may be helpful for the board as you're talking about, these are process questions now.
Okay.
So I'd like to address the board, but I don't wanna, if y'all got other questions that relate directly to the fire department and their response and how they do things, let's ask now.
No, they do a jam up job.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Council, I will make one other comment. If the process is allowed for a vote in these particular areas in this short term, the commissioners are prepared to go out there and make sure that our constituents are aware of what we're trying to do and get the support.
Okay, good.
Y'all hear
So if that process is allowed, we'll take on that responsibility to make that happen.
So
I
do
think
we
that's
have
why-
time to do a separate referendum?
I think the board does have the authority, subject to further research on my part. I think the board does have authority to call a special referendum and to define precisely who it is that's supposed to participate in that. But keep in mind that that is an election process, and you will definitely be involving the circuit clerk's office and your election commissioners and probably voting machines, unless you say, no, we're just gonna do a paper
Paper.
ballot or whatever.
Paper
You
ballot.
set the rules on that, and y'all can set the timing on that. It's a non-binding referendum. So, what this board has pretty consistently indicated, at least to me, is that your preference is that we try not to do those unless they are aligned with an actual election.
Yeah.
You're already gonna be involved in an election. So while you're already involved in an election, go ahead and set
Do
this
this too.
referendum at
Yep.
the same time. So you're not creating double work for election commissioners and
That's
circuit
right.
clerk and all that other stuff.
Yep.
So I assumed, Jay, and now I'm talking about process, so I assumed that we were gonna be targeting whatever referendum the board wanted to use here, if that's what y'all
For
wanna do.
November.
Did we do that on November the 4th, along with everything else we're electing?
But then we miss out, they miss a year of
That
taxes.
there is not sufficient time to get the results of a referendum and act before the end of 25.
No way.
There's not enough time to do it.
Well,
And so we're gonna be well into 26, which means that the current ad valorem tax status for all of those properties that would
Won't
be
change. Yep.
affected by your change, we can't touch those until January 27th.
Well, we do need some time to educate the people, and we gotta get the hard numbers, and we gotta get some, information maybe mailed out. I want them to know that they need to go to the poll and vote on this.
So how many mills did y'all go up in '09? Two?
And it's currently at 9, correct? But you want to add additional 4.
Three.
So,
I think it was 4, and you go to 13.
but the people in the new area.
I thought it was 4 for the expanded,
Would
if you
go up
expanded.
13.
They would go, all of them would be at 13.
We were saying if we didn't go to
Everybody
4 and we
would be
picked up the
13.
annex, we could potentially risk a rate loss. So we're saying that if, you know,
So
If the-
leave,
keep the-
leave the expansion out.
keep the
You still
expansion
want
out,
4.
we still need 4.
Okay, all right.
But
And I think what you heard was a preference, I'm not putting words in y'all's mouth, but maybe the preference would be, can we separate these two things?
Yes.
Can we talk
absolutely. I get
about
that. Yep.
millage increase and then talk about an expansion and do those two things separately?
Yeah.
They really don't relate to one another. You don't have a millage that's being applied to the new annexed areas, not in the district.
But
So-
that's the folks that are gonna see the most
So,
impact at
what
one time.
if we put on 2 mills in October without a referendum? And then have the referendum in November for the additional 2? With the expanded area.
But in the
Afraid they would
expanded
say, "You
area,
just hit me."
what's the millage they would be paying?
Okay.
If this was
It's gonna be across the
right,
board.
If this was approved, it'd be 13.
Across the board.
So it ain't gonna be just 4 or 2, it's gonna be 13.
Well, in that
right.
part, but now that, again, it's
For
a
the
separate
new house
deal.
tops.
Yeah, for the new
For the
house.
new house tops.
They're probably not
paying anything. They're not paying anything.
That's right.
Yeah, they're paying zero for fire protection.
That's right.
But receiving it.
But they know what their taxes are each year.
And like Thomas said, they respond lifts or, and a whole lot of repeat
They're getting
calls.
service without a cost. Yep.
I mean, my thing is, it's not gonna impact me, it's gonna impact the folks in your district, your voters.
Yeah.
And I mean,
There's
it's
three
gonna,
of you that.
it's gonna impact
People
three of
aren't
y'all,
citizens
it's not
of
gonna
it.
impact me and
Three of
see
y'all
ya.
Yeah.
sitting here currently have people in our fire district.
But we could vote, if we voted as a board, I'm just asking this because I don't, and it could be done sooner and quicker.
Yes.
And it could happen in 26 then
fact,
instead of 27.
The state law is very clear that it is the decision of the governing authority. You guys, the five of y'all, are the only place in the entire county where a levy can be imposed. It stops and starts right here. Not even the school district can impact a levy. Y'all have to set every levy. So this body right here, which is under contract with you and has a defined response area, has come to you and said, the levy that this body imposed is inadequate. So how do you fix that? They have to come back and ask you guys, fix it. So they've asked you to take the current place that they occupy and increase the levy that's attributable to that area so that they have adequate funding to serve that area. Forget the annex. To serve that area, it's inadequate. And so they've asked you, as the only place they can ask, to increase the levy. And they've told you we need 4 mills, 4 more. Go from 9 to 13.
Hey,
That's
Josh.
the request.
Have you looked at other departments your size on what their budget is?
Yes, sir.
So where do we stack up?
So Gluckstadt is the only, they're the closest to us in is a fire protection district. We're the largest fire protection district in the state of Mississippi. Gluckstadt is very close to us. They're currently at 10 mills. Their chief told me that they're gonna go ask for 4 mills this year as well.
So what is that, what's their annual budget?
Their annual budget's just over 3 million.
Where is yours
Mine's
currently?
2.7.
Okay,
So
and they're
we're
gonna go up.
We're very similar. About a 1 mill generally draws a little over 300,000 for us.
How much is Flowwoods?
I'm not sure.
They're obviously run
yeah.
differently since it's municipal,
They get
but it's a much larger budget.
They also get to collect sales tax. We do not. We get no ad valorem tax whatsoever. We're bound by, state
Millage,
law.
yeah.
We can only, receive money collected from property tax.
The
So
average average salary differentiation between our department and the surrounding departments is about $10,000 on the starting side. So that gives you some indication as to the budgetary difference.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the municipals versus what we're dealing with.
And again, salaries is wonderful, and that's great. It helps keep our people there. We want them to
Yeah.
retire there. We want them to start there and retire there, but it's not all about that.
Yeah.
Equipment costs, maintenance costs and stuff are
Right.
through the roof. I mean, absolutely through the roof.
All right, Craig,
Yes, sir.
I understand separate where we're at right now from any expansion. But for me, I can't because a lot of people, almost to Pelahatchie, are gonna get, within this district. And the expansion is the only way they're gonna get within this district. So when we however we do it, whether it's through a referendum or whatever, we need to include those prospective people. We need, because I fully want to put this fire station there, and it's the fastest growing area maybe in the county with the most property values.
Right.
And I think it's something we just really need. We need it a whole lot worse than we need to put more blacktop down.
Couple of practical considerations there. Number one, it is a referendum and it would be non-binding. I take the position, since it's a non-binding referendum, it's in the nature of you saying, what do y'all think?
What do y'all wanna do?
Right, you're not
Yep.
telling me what to do.
Yep.
You're not voting to give me an actual decision. You are telling me your opinion. So you have to structure and ask the question in such a way that you get the answer you're looking for, right? The practical reality here, Steve, is you got two different things in play. You got folks right now who are in the current
Yeah.
Reservoir Fire Protection District and are currently paying 9 mills.
Yep.
And then you've got folks who are not in the Reservoir Fire Protection District, but could be, who are paying 0 mills.
Yep.
So what are we asking? We gotta ask one group, are you willing to go up 4?
Yep.
We gotta ask the other group, are you willing to come in at 13?
Right.
That's two different questions,
I-
and they may be two different answers.
Uh,
I don't know how
I think
to
we
do
asked
that.
both groups, are you willing to pay 13? Not, are you willing to pay only 4? Really paying 13?
Yeah.
Because you've been paying it for years.
Yeah, the problem is that the impact of an additional 4 is markedly different than the impact of 0 to 13. So it's two different sets of considerations there. But one thought that I had is that you would define the referendum by the actual footprint
Yes.
of how they are affected. And so a referendum would be specific to the current residents in the current fire protection district, and they would answer the question posed directed to them about a 4 mill increase. And you would have a separate question on a separate ballot for the specific housetops in the proposed annex area, and you would say, you currently are not paying anything for fire protection. Are you willing to pay a levy for fire protection in exchange for the possibility that because of the better classification of this department, it will materially impact your homeowner's premium? Those are separate questions.
Okay.
And I think that you would be allowed to do both of those simultaneously on the same election day for different areas.
All right.
This ballot box would be for these people, this ballot box would be for these people, and it's a different referendum question on each of those ballots. That's a process deal.
Okay, all right, I just.
Right now, the process right now does not provide for somebody other than this board to decide whether or not there's gonna be a levy increase.
Gentlemen, for the record, from our perspective, we are eager to service the additional folks in this annex area.
Absolutely, sure.
We want to take that on, but we are cautious in not wanting to degrade the current level of service we provide to everybody else.
Absolutely, sure, absolutely.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
Cause y'all going to have to bring on additional.
For sure.
So there's no way to go back and plug in.
No, Jay.
Right.
It's not.
Okay.
What I laid out right there, I think is about the only pathway that I can see that's meaningful for this board to actually get feedback that makes a difference on what your decision is.
So we wait till November, it'd be 2 years before they see any of that income.
I think they would probably get a check in
They get it quarterly, don't they?
early 27-ish, March, April.
Yeah.
They would probably get their
Yeah.
first check in 27.
Yeah.
But they'd have to live with their current budgetary
For a year.
environment for another year and a half.
But we couldn't give them an additional, say, 2 meals
I
or
don't-
whatever,
I
if we
think
wanted to,
that's-
for the current.
Yes.
That's
And-
damaging though. You do
I know,
that,
I know,
and then
I
the
know.
people are gonna
Yeah.
say, you just hit me, and now you're back wanting to hit me again.
Well, the truth is, Steve, they won't know they got hit until
Until-
January.
Well, I think they know now.
They won't forget.
And for your information, we have exhausted every other opportunity to find
Oh,
other
no,
funding
absolutely.
I don't-
from other state
We're not
agencies.
blaming y'all or
So
anything.
We've tried.
I don't want to make it appear that we're trying to slip something by them, or I want them to be knowledgeable. I wanna educate them and let them make a good choice that will affect
Who are them?
the people that are receiving fire protection now and the people that I expect will be
That will be
receiving,
receiving.
in the, serving districts.
So we're just waiting to do anything in November.
All right. I don't know, I don't see another way unless y'all,
Have y'all looked at what 2 or 4 mills is gonna do to a homeowner? Do y'all
Yeah.
know what that is?
well, we're getting that. We're
Y'all
getting
getting
the
that?
They
hard
gave me an
numbers.
estimate.
I was
the other day.
surprised at how low the number was. I thought it was gonna be a big number, and it really
Yeah.
wasn't. And a lot of our home values and income levels in that area, I think they're gonna accept it a little bit
Oh,
better than we think.
It not only is gonna affect their insurance, it's gonna affect the value of their properties.
Absolutely.
And all the way to, Holly Bush Road to Lake Road nearly. I mean, that is a long, that, and, I mean, that takes in most of my new development out there.
I mean, the thing about it is, you're raising 4 mills on the current 9 that you got there now, it's not gonna, but when you go from 0 to 13, they gonna.
Yeah, that's the biggest impact.
Well,
is
couldn't
that
we,
zone.
as a board, just go ahead and do the 4 for the current, and then have this other whole deal as an election referendum?
That's the best recommendation I've heard yet.
As a 2 completely separate
Absolutely,
things?
this board has the authority right now to say to these guys, you bring us a formal request for a 4 mil
Yep.
levy increase.
Yep.
Bring it to me in writing, and we will comply with the statute that requires you guys now to notice, to put notice in the newspaper. We have been requested to increase the levy. We intend to entertain that for discussion. Please come help yourself and tell the board whether or not you agree.
Okay.
I'll go a step
And this
farther.
process
I'll-
Your district.
I'll make a
and
complete
whose
commitment
district?
from all the commission,
Yeah,
commissioners.
I would like to get reelected.
I understand, I'm just saying.
Just
what do
letting you know.
But I mean, what do you, so Jay, do you think that's a bad idea though? I mean, it's,
So, I think
surely
the
we can
whole 4,
explain that.
I think the whole 4 is a little, is a stretch for us to approve. I wouldn't wanna put it on the people without them having some type of say.
Okay.
Now. when you
13,
say-
I don't think you wanna jump on that.
I think that's gotta be a
I
whole
mean, that's
separate
that's a
issue.
whole different deal, but.
But yeah, if you did the 4, and then, like I say, then voted on the 13,
Well,
But Jay-
once
Jay
we
thinks-
have a fire station under construction, and they see that we're gonna get, it's gonna be here if we wanna
That's a
get
few
covered.
years down the road.
Yeah,
So,
we,
I think you got some time.
But Jay, you do know more about this than I do, obviously, so I mean,
Well, I just know, so, like I said, you know,
Absolutely.
our most recent history has not been real great with
Sure.
the public.
that's right.
So, with Steve, I think I wanna make sure everybody's informed what
Yep.
we're doing.
Yeah.
I wish there was maybe a way we could hold a public hearing.
Supervisor
Yeah.
Bishop, if I can offer this, please don't underestimate our willingness to go into your specific households and let them know ourselves exactly what they're getting.
Yeah.
Every one of us are going to be beating the streets, we're going to be using social media. I have opportunities to use resources through HOA management companies that will be sending out information directly into all of these areas. So this will not be a surprise to anybody if you're willing to entertain it. It's going to be well publicized.
And we do that
taken to the
beforehand,
commission.
and then decide as a
I
board.
kinda like Jay's idea of having a public hearing, since that's
Yeah.
what the law requires us to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna have a public hearing.
Maybe in advance, well in advance of it.
I understand, you guys don't have to make a decision on the day of your public hearing. You
Yeah.
can do exactly what we did about an hour ago now. You said, we're gonna take this under advisement, and we're gonna render a decision on this day. And so you can come on that day, and we'll tell you what we have decided.
Well, when do we have to make a decision by in order for them to get some money in 26 instead of 27?
I need
Our
them
budget.
to be able to set the budget, and so that means we need to set the budget. I gotta have a decision by September 15th.
So soon.
You guys are gonna vote on the budget on or before September the 15th.
Okay, so we gotta move along if we're gonna have
Oh,
a
yeah.
public hearing and
That's
all
right.
that.
Yeah.
That's kind of, we're just kind of in a holding pattern to kind of see what you guys want as a board, and then let us, and we'll, like.
You'll publicize it, get
We'll
out there,
publicize,
get
yeah.
out there.
I mean, we got a good social media presence too, and everything, so I mean.
Correction, we
he's
need to
got
be
all
making
the
a decision
connections.
by I'm now being told by the peanut gallery, that we gotta have a decision by the first Monday in September,
First Monday in September, okay?
which would be the third.
1 month.
oh man, that's
So we got
We
2
can have
weeks to get out and advertise.
I don't
2
think
weeks.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it can. But I'm like, you need to,
You're
they
gonna
need
set
the
your
money,
levies
need to get it to.
with your budget.
yeah.
Okay. Thank y'all.
Pushing it.
We'll have final
We could really put these guys on the spot. two running for office over here. That's what they're being.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That guy's gonna run against it. That guy's
Yeah.
gonna run- That man's gonna run
You know what
against
they'll
it.
say.
What are we gonna do, gentlemen? Are we gonna entertain the millage increase and start working to publicize that and try to be in a position to maybe act on the request?
On the current.
Just
Our
to-
current district will work on, the process to annex is different.
Okay.
We're not in a position to do the process for annexation. That's a different deal.
And that's not gonna benefit y'all anyway, right
I
now.
think we got a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
Down
Oh,
the
yeah.
road, while this station's being built, we can
Yeah.
tackle this issue and,
That's right.
and spend some more time on it, educating those
Yeah.
people that, hey, yes, you're gonna pay an increase of X amount, but you're gonna save this amount too, so I don't know
Well,
that it'll be a complete wash,
the-
that you pay $500 and you get 250 worth savings or whatever, but.
But if we get this done, there's no obstacles moving forward
Right.
on that issue. The base has been laid for everything we need in order to.
If we just go up to the 13 on what y'all currently have, how much will that bring in for y'all additional?
About one, yeah, it was about 1.2 million.
Yes, 300,000 per mill.
Just on going from 9 to 13 on what you currently, so I'd bring in additional 1.2 roughly.
Yes, sir.
And I guess we had discussed doing 3 in the beginning, but with this possible
Yeah.
annexation and manning this station, we had no choice but to ask for 4. Because if we do 3, then you come back and you say, we really would love for you to annex this area and take it in. It's gonna take another one to be able to cover. We've been running numbers to kind of see how much that's gonna give us to cover the personnel and be able to,
Fire truck.
fund that station.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fund that station.
Jay,
That's
we
another thing.
talked about this last month. 3 gets us to where we need to be today, not a year from now.
Yeah.
So in order to come back in 4 years instead of 2 years, getting that 4 now keeps us from coming back.
Okay.
All right, I think we need some hard numbers on that.
Yep, we need
Alright.
hard numbers,
So-
and I think
Not from y'all, but from.
we need to
from
tell
tax- From this
them,
tax standpoint, we need some hard numbers.
we need to be able to tell them to go forward. We're moving in a
talk-
positive way.
Talking to
And
the homeowners.
let's start spreading the word in a favorable way that, let them know the savings and how,
But it ain't gonna be no savings.
Yeah.
Not gonna really
No.
be a lot
The
of
ones
savings.
that are current-
not,
Yeah.
not for them, not for these people, you're right.
It's just gonna
But,
know that that we're maintaining
yeah.
adequate fire,
It might would help let them know that, hey, for us to keep a full-time fire station, we got to come up and we got to be able to compete with your neighboring
In
municipality.
anticipation of your
Yeah.
support, we already have talking points and bullet points that
I
we're
know.
going to release
Well,
to everyone.
now, it could affect them if
Yeah.
your rating
I know.
went
We dropped to a 4,
if
but
you
they're gonna
went
save.
to a
I'm glad we don't
6,
have an executive session today.
if you went to a 6 versus maybe going to a 3. And I'm not suggesting that you would go to a 6, but if you're at a 5 now, if you look at
We're
the
at a
6,
5, we're at a 5 now, I see no reason to believe that we would go the
I don't-
other
I don't
direction
either.
whatsoever. If anything, we'll go to the better, to the positive side.
With-
We'll go to a 4, which would benefit these people, even
Right.
if they paid 4 extra meals.
Yep.
They may in turn save another $100 on their
Yep.
homeowner's policy.
that's
So,
right.
Can I get some direction, please?
We need
Two things.
to,
Two things. I want to state very clearly, I need direction that's clear, that these guys don't need to be fooling with or worried about an annexation.
No, not for
No,
now.
not right now.
we need to inform our current
Yep.
Y'all good with that?
Yes.
That's gonna be on hold for some period of time. We don't have to fool with that anymore, chief. Good. All right.
Okay.
Second, is there a willingness for publicity and a kind of a blitz
Yeah.
to go out into the community
Yeah.
in the current area
Yeah.
and get feedback that's suitable for you guys before you have to make a decision about a levy increase?
Yes.
Are we
Yes.
good with that?
Yes. And then we'll have a public hearing.
Yes. In fact,
But we
what
gotta
I'm
do this
suggesting-
fast.
Yes, what I'm suggesting, guys, is they need to formalize their request in writing to us and say, we need this levy increase.
Yeah.
Put it in writing and get it in front of us.
Okay.
And then it will be put on the agenda for decision by that Monday, first Monday in September. and they will be out there communicating with constituents, and hopefully you guys will be getting feedback.
So are we gonna
from
do the
constituents.
public hearing on the 15th or the 29th?
Of August.
It's gonna depend on what y'all want to set. I need to look at the statute, make sure I don't cram us into a problem on how much time.
Yeah.
I need to look at that.
And do we need to do it?
29th to be safe?
I would say let's plan to set our hearing on the 29th.
Okay.
Are you
So-
wanting to do that here?
29th.
Where do you wanna do the hearing? I mean, make it more convenient for them.
On the 28th?
August the 28th.
Do we need
Yeah.
to do it here? Or can we do it out there?
Well, we got all these people that,
We're not making any decisions, we're just listening to the public.
well,
Where-
we
where
have to
else?
I
have
don't
an
know.
official public hearing.
Where else?
So maybe you
How
gotta
big's that community room out there?
you gotta have this
Now,
staff.
let's be careful.
Okay.
If we have a situation where we're in a meeting, then we've got notice requirements, and those all have to be done in advance. And so we need to be very careful about setting a public hearing somewhere,
Yeah.
because that's gonna be an
I
official
know.
meeting of the Board of
So
Supervisors.
Keith, I want you to get with our IT department, see if we can do a poll on our website and be able to track who is the one that actually submitted it. Well, if we can't, we can't. So just ask anyway.
We may be trying to push this thing too fast. I mean, I know it's a year of increase that, or nearly a year, but it would be a year. But I don't wanna jam us up and then we stump our toe and somebody files and then we're 2 or
Couple
3
things.
years.
I want to express appreciation to Chuck. He's already written an article that's been published last week about these very issues. I mean, so it's out there for public consumption already through the newspaper. I think we've all been told previously and incredulously that, quote, people don't read the paper. But I beg to differ, and it is in fact the statutory mechanism by which we give public notice. So it's already out there. My suspicion is it'll be out there again. Second, we can get it on the website and specifically identify what's happening here. That there's a proposal for a levy increase, cite the statutes, whatever. And we will schedule a public hearing, and we'll do that for the 28th. And we'll try to get the word out as much as possible. We're gonna have a public hearing right here, where we always have them at 9 o'clock on the 28th. Come tell the board what you think.
All right.
We're gonna have to make a decision that day.
I think you'll be in a place
Or at
where
least,
you'll have enough
by
information.
the next meeting.
September.
Well, yeah.
Steve,
3
your
days later.
decision,
That's right.
your decision will actually be on the day you adopt your budget.
Yep. Yep.
You will
So
set
that-
your levies.
Just a few days later.
Be
Yeah.
September 15th or so.
Well, I'm being told it's September the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Labor Day is that Monday.
We're trying, yeah.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
All right.
Thank y'all.
I wanna,
Thank
push-
you. Thank you. Appreciate
I
you.
wanna start pushing it.
Gentlemen, do we have your permission to
Yes.
start
Yes, if you
speaking in the
Yeah,
community today?
absolutely.
We will
Yeah.
start today.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Send me an email. I got you. Or something. It just says,
You have
this is
something-
official.
You have something today.
We need 4.
You'll have
Is that
something
it?
today on letterhead.
Relation road.
I didn't even, we still got more to do?
Yeah, we skipped down to this.
Oh, man. All right. What's the next item there,
Going
Mr. President?
back to the discussion of the tax exemption policy, please. All right. This has come up a number of times. We decided appropriately to delay action on amending your current ad valorem tax exemption policy until we got a new executive director of Rankin First in place. That has happened as of early June. And our new executive director, Garrett Wright, has had an opportunity to review this along with his staff. And I believe that with the board's permission, we are in a position to consider what is in front of you right now as endorsed on behalf of Rankin First and its board. Why is this important? We
we have incentive packages that are available to this Board of Supervisors that address local ad valorem taxes. You have incentive packages that you can offer to attract industries and businesses to Rankin County that are bringing jobs to Rankin County and to the citizens of Rankin County. And so this is a composition of what you believe as a policy is appropriate as a part of your incentive package that you will offer. You have the discretion to offer some, all, whatever. There are barriers you can't go beyond, but you don't have to offer everything. So this policy places limitations on, according to what the board wishes, it places limitations on the various incentives that can be offered.
I like that, we're withholding road and bridge
Yes.
and the school.
So I wanna address that because that's item 2. You'll look at item 2 on your proposed policy. The first, let me just start, I'll just go through them real quickly, Jay. The first one is a statement of constitutional law on behalf of the state of Mississippi. You can't go more than 10 years on any exemption that you grant, period. So that clearly states that. I don't want anybody in the business community to think y'all are being chintzy. You can't constitutionally go beyond 10 years on an exemption grant. And so that clearly is stated there. You are reserving the right, however, to not grant a full 10-year exemption. You can grant an exemption of any length from 1 to 10 you choose. And so that's clearly stated there. It's up to you guys. So you get a request, you can say, we'll give you 3. And then we'll see whether or not you're gonna get the other 7. We'll give you 5. And then we'll see whether or not you get the other 5. We'll give you 8, but we're gonna hold the last 2 out for whatever reason. Yeah, you guys have the discretion. So we broaden that authority to be more inclusive of a greater range. Your prior policy, by the way, said we're gonna grant these as a 5 and a 5. Well, that locked you into providing a 5-year exemption regardless. And so we felt like it's better for us to have flexibility to go 1 to 10. Okay, so that's why that states that. Number 2, as Jay pointed out, we expect everybody in our community to help us pay for good roads. We do a great job, by the way, of maintaining our roads. The reason we can do that is we have good participation from everybody helping us pay for that activity. So we don't give any exemptions for road and bridge. You're gonna pay it, right? Second thing, we expect if we're gonna help Hines Community College and we expect our businesses to benefit from an educated workforce, they need to help us pay for that. That's why that's excluded, right? And you see that the debt retirement also includes your general obligation bond debt retirement. One of the reasons why we have a great community is because we make capital improvements on a regular basis, and sometimes we use GO bonds to fund that. Everybody needs to help us pay for those capital improvements. Things like a tax collector and tax assessor's office in Flowood. Things like a district attorney's office on Marquette Road. Things like an animal shelter where we do good work. The sheriff does great work helping us keep animal control under control. Those are examples of what we do with GO capital investments, and we expect everybody to pay for that. Nobody gets an exemption from that, right? So those are the areas where you exclude from your exemption. You exclude those. You are telling everybody for a new industry coming in, the minimum capital investment, you don't even consider. You won't hear anything on an application if it's less than $2.5 million in capital investment.
I think that's too low.
You think it's too low for a new business, Brad?
To come in, yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be raised up.
So what would keep somebody coming to build a gas station and wanna come in and get an exemption?
You saying
employ 10 people.
You saying we're not interested in providing that exemption for that? That's not of the type.
And their salaries probably.
One of the reasons, I should have said this on the front end, and I apologize for not. One of the reasons why the terms that you see here are on this document and why it has been endorsed by Rankin First is it aligns directly with the Mississippi Department.
MDA.
Exactly, MDA. Mississippi Delta.
Well, do we
Development
have to
Authority.
align ours with, I'm like Brad, 2.5 million in today's world is not very much money. I mean, I think that needs to be raised to at least 15 million.
Total?
That way, if they know it's on paper and they can't, you know, have everybody coming by here because it's in our thing.
One of the reasons why we are moving to align with MDA is because every county around us is aligned with MDA. So,
Well,
You're-
I think we need to be different.
But
steps above.
I'm saying any kind of
We need to-
business coming in, I mean, 5.
I would think 5.
You don't think 15?
I mean, yeah, I'd love it, but I don't think I think we're gonna price ourselves out of the market at 15.
We still have the right to refuse it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's on paper, just like that
I get it.
MCH trucking deal,
Yep.
well, it was on there, and that's why they come and asked for it, then they got mad when they didn't get it.
Right, well, that was,
But I just don't think $2.5 million is, I mean, a house costs that much.
well, I would hope that our new director will be more vocal with us and
Well, I
upcoming
think that's why we need to
opportunities.
set it from 2.5 to what we agree on.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what do you think we ought to agree on?
you're not gonna act on this until Monday. It's not before you this is just discussion.
So we can have this discussion with Garrett when he gets up there,
Of course.
Monday. He's coming Monday.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
That sound good? Alright, can we move on?
Yep. So, read this over.
I already have.
Okay.
Get familiar with it, and it'll be in front of you for action on Monday. The next item, gentlemen, is a discussion of authorizing a letter to Senator Wicker, Senator Highsmith, Congressman Guest, that opposes the federal effort, you've done this before, by the way, to raise the truck weight and truck length on our interstate system, our US highway system. These are those triple decker deals that you've seen, trucks that are hauling three trailers behind them.
So is this
There's-
gonna be on our agenda for Monday?
Actually,
Today.
Well, it's a discussion today.
no, there is a letter that I put together that is
Oh,
endorsing
discussion.
your opposition to
I
that.
make a motion to approve,
Second.
Yeah.
That's D.
Jay made a motion, Steve seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right. All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
We do have need for an executive.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speed things up
Alright.
and be right here.
Well, just keep your seat, Mr. Hickson.
All right.
Be fine.
Item A is authority to pay registration fees. This is a timing issue for $395 for some of our law enforcement to attend a seminar in Flowood.
It's here local, so.
Motion
I
to
make a
approve.
Second.
Jay made a motion, Steve seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Alright, I make a motion to discuss the need for executive session.
Second.
Jay made the motion to discuss the need for executive session. Brad seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
What are we doing?
Personnel?
Make a motion for executive session for personnel.
Second.
Jay made the motion for executive session for personnel. Dr. McLeod seconded that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor?